everyone, and welcome to Hardware Hacking Part 3.1. I'm Jeff Provo, and we have also Tim with us. How's it going, Tim?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good. So it's going to be an interesting journey. We're going to keep going, doing some hacking on exactly what we started last time, and we're hoping that's going to be going really good. At the end of the day, we're not sure exactly how it's going to go because, again, this is our journey into hardware hacking. We're taking a look at videos. We're trying to find out exactly how things are done, but we don't know exactly all the stuff. So that's the reason why we need to go through this, learn what it is, and then eventually might have a couple of extra things that's going to be into the pipeline, right? There's some stuff I think that could be interesting. So hold on. I got the box over here. We're going to have eventually, not yet, another one. Again, this is me learning from Matt Brown in this case, right? So I'm taking a lot of stuff from him as I've learned through his videos. I'm going also to share this on Discord, not on Discord. Well, yeah, maybe on Discord if you wanted, but on in the chat. So if you guys are interested, you can go take a look at it. But I think it's extremely interesting to take a look at a content creator that has experience in the field, right? Trying to replicate those things, and then eventually we can start branching off onto our stuff. What do you think about that, Tim? You think it's a good idea?
I think it's awesome. Yeah, I think you're a bit of a tease, showing us a camera like that. I'm very interested in doing that, but I'm also super excited to keep diving further into the router that we have because we've already made some awesome progress. And I feel like we were just on the cusp of something last time. So let's drive it home.
Yeah, I did some research a little bit just so we can keep moving forward. I think we were just a little bit off onto how transfer files onto the router. By the way, for those that are not sure about what we've done, hold on, I'm just going to remove something because I don't need this on that. What we have right now, it's basically a TP-Link router. So for those that are not aware or maybe slightly aware, the US is thinking, or at least they're talking about banning TP-Link since they don't have good security in place, which is a big concern, right, for a lot of people that are actually using TP-Link. It's also a company that's low cost, right? So a lot of people are going to go for those low cost devices so they can integrate them within their network. So that's the reason why we want to take a look at it. Some of the stuff that we found already is a admin account. Well, it's called admin, even though that's a Linux embedded device, right? And password was 1234. And as we already realized, it doesn't work really like right off the bat with dropbear. There's a couple of things that we need to potentially do to be able to get through this. It's not just like plain and simple that we can actually do that. However, if you have a UART shell, you're basically inside. But we were limited. So
we had a root shell.
Say again?
Yeah, we had a root shell. It was just we were limited in what we could actually do with it.
Correct.
It's such a tiny image. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So we're limited, but we're gonna find a way to hopefully be able to go a little bit further and get it to do what we want to do, right? So a couple of ideas on how we're gonna be able to move along. This is not an easy journey, so thank you very much for tagging along with us. But at the same time, as we're learning, you can see exactly some of the steps that we are doing, so you don't have to repeat the same mistakes as we are doing, right? So that's the whole goal about it. It's all about a learning experience, a learning journey. I want to share something first that I saw today. Again, coming from Matt Brown, I think you guys are going to be very interested. Handshake, I already shared that with you earlier, and I'd like to be able to just at least like touch base a little bit about a video that, again, Matt Brown shared. It's going to come up in a second. So let's show that on stream. Okay, so that's a video he just released. Basically, like if we take a look, there's lots of likes that's coming up. And there's just like 4,000, over 4,000 views. So probably right now, if I do a refresh, let's give it a try. It's probably going to be like, oh, it's okay. It has not updated, but whoops, sorry. I clicked on something else by mistake. So basically speaking, what he's talking about is, you know, that in the US right now, at least as of yesterday, I believe, or even like 2 days ago, TikTok was banned for the US. And there's a new application that came out that seems to be under the same brand, which is Tencent, right? And it's called, what's it called again? Red Note. So that's the name of the application.
Little Red Book.
Say again?
Little Red Book.
Yeah, pretty much. And what's interesting, and you can take a look here, the news article that comes it over here. Maybe we can take a look at it real quick without going too much in depth. But we can see here that it has been banned and so on. And what Matt Brown is basically trying to expose into this is like some of the communication that seems to be going back and forth directly as you're on the application. And some of those stuff are basically clear text.
Yep.
Green part here on Wireshark is all green text. Are we able to see? There's a picture as well at one point that he shows us. I'm trying to see if we're going to be able to get it. Oh, there we go. So that's the actual picture that was intercepted through Wireshark communication, right? That Matt Brown is able to take a look. So some people is going to be saying, look, this is not a big issue because if you're getting a video, it's not encrypted and something like that. Doesn't matter. It's not sending private information and so on. However, on the other end, it might start taking a look. Well, somebody could start taking a look at exactly what you want to do or what you're actually doing, collecting information and trying to sell that to other people, right? So they can build basically a profile of you. So from a perspective of a guy that likes privacy, right? Obviously up to a point because you're online with me right now, Tim. What do you think about that? Do you think it's acceptable to have something like this freely available pretty much online, not even encrypted?
So I would say that a lot of the things you just mentioned, alarmingly, are commonplace even in the major apps today. What I'm seeing in front of us right now is that they're not cleaning all of the data out of the image and out of the image metadata, because many of our viewers might know that you can just pull up any random picture and run it through EXIF tool and pull all the metadata off the image. Sometimes that's some really sometimes it's just dripping with data. You can tell exactly the GPS location of where a photo was taken, what time it was at, maybe even who else was present at the time. It's there's a lot in there. So what we're seeing right now is that it didn't scrub the image. So I don't love that. You know, even apps like Twitter. I will never call it X.
It's hard. It's hard to call it this way.
Yeah. They do scrub it. So they're not keeping up with what I would call their competitors in that sense. But a lot of the major apps are also selling data on how you're using the apps and what you're viewing. It all gets bundled and run through a broker. So if we think that we can hide from that while you're using these apps, we're kidding ourselves to some degree.
Yeah, exactly. So it is what it is. We're gonna have to deal with it for now. My question that I've been asking myself, and that's something I was thinking about, me even like posting on LinkedIn. I'm like, so what is the actual issue? Is it really like, should we put the issue back directly on developer? I'm trying to get out there super fast and not thinking about privacy and security and all so on. We also know that in general, and again, without going too much in depth into the conversation, maybe on the Chinese side, it's not as like privacy is not seen as important as what it can be here in North America or something like that. It's hard to tell exactly what are the actual concept there. So I'm not going to dive deep into political issues, but that's one thing that could be happening because from one country to another, things are not exactly or necessarily as important as others. So, but for sure for us, that's a problem. And if TikTok is getting banned for issues with like data being sent or so on, I mean, like just think about the fact that stuff might be even worse than that in this point, right?
That's it. Yeah. If one thing is true, you have to uphold it on the other side too. Things are always a little funny when we have cross-border movement of information, right? And for a global app like this, that's always going to be the case. So we have two very different sets of values about privacy and individual freedoms, kind of butting up against each other. And I think, anyone who knows me, this is the last thing I would ever say, but like we need more regulation in this space on protecting our freedoms and our privacy on the internet.
Yeah. And one thing that could be, and again, this is maybe something that it's not going to be feasible to do, But eventually, should we have an international agreement on privacy for everyone, right? So if you build one app and so on, that's what it is. But if we go on the other end, right, let's think about the whole process on how it gets to your phone, right? So if we think about Apple, the App Store is the main place you're going to get everything. So in certain cases, I think, or if it's not already up, I can't. Sorry, I can't remember exactly seeing the actual news about it, or if it's feasible on doing side loading, right? So I'll just stick to what I can remember, at least on how it was. You have to go to the App Store and then download the app. You put it on your phone, right? So would it be somewhat of a responsibility for an App Store to be able to protect and making sure that those things are private, like as private as possible, and then rejecting those application? That's something that can be hard to actually tell, right? It could be a platform of choice. It could be also a choice on the phone that you decide that you want to pay maybe Apple to be able to protect you, because we know on the Google side they don't do as much as what Apple initially does, right? So if you have to listen to Kevin Mitnick, for example, unfortunately he's not part of this world. So without going in depth into what happened, because I don't know, I know he's unfortunately he passed away.
What?
Yeah,
oh shoot! I just read his book. Dang, man.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
He passed away. I can't remember exactly when, but like a couple months ago. Unfortunately.
Oh, that's a huge bummer. Okay.
Yeah. He was the chief hacker of No Before. Chief hacker officer. I mean, that's probably the best title that you could get. So he was saying Apple is probably the best one you can get right off the bat. There's also a something that you can, like on your phone, that you can lock down on your Apple. A lot of different.
That's for security, JF, or for privacy?
Well, I mean, it's going to do both at the end, right? So if it's securing down your phone to a maximum, right, to make sure that there's no functionalities or like applications are not going to be able to do whatever they want. So it's going to be much easier in this case to be able to protect yourself. Are you going to be able to protect yourself 100%? I would say probably not, but it's still better than nothing. On the other hand, if you go with Android, it's a little bit more open. So a lot of people that do play with Linux and so on, I'm quite sure I could. I don't even need to ask you what type of phone you have for Huawei, and you don't have to tell me, but I'm quite sure it's on the Android side, right? So that's the type of stuff you can start building up profile about people and who they are and how they're going to use their devices and so on.
Yeah.
It's more open. But when I was thinking about it, sorry if I am rambling here, there is something that, let's say, I think it's Tim Sweeney from EA. No, not what's called, not EA Games. What's called again? The other platform that's like going against basically Steam. Do you remember?
No, doesn't ring a bell. Let me check this.
I can't remember. If I do Tim Sweeney, there we go.
Epic.
Epic Games. Yeah, Epic Games. Thank you very much. So Epic Games. So they went after Apple because Apple was taking 30%. But if in a case that where, again, I'm not just going to debate that, I'm just trying to speculate. But if the 30%, a good portion of it, was to be able to force privacy onto applications and so on, that would have been a big win at that point. And I think it'd be fair to ask 30% cut directly from the developer, the app developer, to ensure privacy and security for all the users. If that's not the case, well, that's a different story. But again, I'm not just going to expand here. It's just somewhat of my general thought over here that could be very interesting.
These are really important questions over times, right? I mean, that went all the way up to the Supreme Court just over the summer. Apple was in very, very deep water over having a monopoly. And, and why was Android not, right? Because I can pick up my Android device and I have 3 different app stores running all the time. I'm on Google Play. I am on the Samsung store whenever I can't avoid it. I don't go there intentionally usually. And most of the time I use F-Droid, which is independent and highly private.
Yeah, good. So I shared the YouTube video I was just talking about. So if you guys want to check it out, that's perfect. There is a bunch of different, like a news article. There's also the GitHub EUs and so on. And I think that can be very interesting because at one point he basically had a proxy which was intercepting all the data that was going through and was able to decipher, or at least that's where he stopped, but he was able to intercept connections even though they were encrypted. And potentially see something. Maybe there's a version 2 of his video that's going to come up eventually, but for now, that's where he stopped. But that's something that can be very interesting. All right, good.
And there's a bunch of unencrypted traffic that he was observing as well, coming right out of that app, which is also pretty alarming, right? I mean, every single DNS query that you do is not going to be encrypted. So that can be a huge tell about what you're looking at, is where the DNS goes. So if you're controlling the DNS endpoints, then you have almost perfect surveillance over what people are looking at.
Yep. There we go. All right, sounds good. So in this case here, what we're going to do is we are going to move forward and go into the other machine. There's one thing though that I need to do is I need to plug in my wireless thing. Hopefully it has a little bit of battery. It does. I don't know for how long, so we're going to give it a try and see if we're going to be able to keep going with that connection there. Because it's going to make it a lot easier for me to do that, because my microphone stops here, but then my computer is over there, specifically for the hardware hacking. So let's give it a try and see how it goes. Yeah, so Tim, just so you know, it's not going on Twitter, unfortunately. So I'm not too sure exactly what's the issue with that, but
yeah, we'll figure that one out for next time. Sorry, folks on Twitter, if you're watching this on YouTube.
Yeah. That happens. No big deal. Okay. Do I have everything set up?
Do we have anyone on Discord yet? Let's see.
All right, it's connected. So I'll be able to.
My Discord is popping off. I was very deep into the latest Hack the Box release all day today, and it's been an absolute party. Definitely worth trying out if you're into doing CTF type things. It's a neat concept. Can I introduce it, JF? Because
yeah. Go ahead.
It's a weird one. All right. The premise is that, and I don't think I'm giving away anything about the active content here. The premise is that you're attacking your target that you try to get into. Very, very early on in the box, you realize it's already compromised. So you need to do a back hack and attack the attackers. So
I guess I'm gonna leave it like that for now.
It's a neat concept. It's definitely a new one.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
All right, so we got some hashing formats here.
Yeah. Well, that's basically the state of my computer when I left, almost, right?
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So I didn't touch it or did anything. So switching to microphone, let me know if there's any difference. All right, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'm able to hear myself here, but just in case. Okay, so sounds good. So basically what we've done, I'm just going to replug the USB key here. You guys can see me here a little bit on the side right there, and you can see that I'm trying to plug it in. There we go. Still learning on how to plug USBs sometimes. All right. Okay, so we don't have any. We have a couple of web page over here. I don't think I need these that many web pages there. So I'm just going to close this one. And then we are going to go back over here. One way that we were able to get into it was Picocom, and then we used the USB 0. That was the main one. It does not mean that's going to be the same one for you, depending on how many devices you have. And if you need to do to figure it out, you can do a diff between the dev, like this part here. So do a before and after you plug it in. And that's what four-way handshake told us to do, to be able to figure it out when there's a new device coming in. So now we're going to do this. We have everything set up, and the only thing I need to do is to plug it in and then see how it goes. All right, it's plugged in. So now we can see that we have a connection actually happening. And I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger here that way so we can navigate back and forth. So four ways. So there's a couple of things I found out is that, and that's something I didn't, well, I think I knew, but if you don't do it often enough, you don't know. But Kali has TFTP, so which is great in this case, right?
Yeah, we saw that last time. We just didn't, we went for the Python version because the syntax looked a little easier. And
yeah, exactly.
These things happen, right?
Yeah. And now this time around, we're going to be able to actually use the TFTP on Kali instead of using the Python to make sure that we can get something out of that. Everything is on Discord, so if you need to get access to our Discord server, let's put the ticker here. So you have it here. There you go. So if you want to join us, you can take a look at Discord server there, come in, and you're going to see the actual, what's it called again? The actual commands that we are going to use to be able to get there.
Yep.
I'll just move this over here, so it's easier for me to see what's going on. I don't know why there's a little bar there that I don't like having in my face, if you don't mind it for a second. It seems that it's part of the some of the widget that we have right now, and I'm not too sure if they're actually working 100%. So in the meantime, I'm going to put it
down. You'll
down.
find on my end.
So I just put it down. So it's but behind it's behind the ticker there at the bottom where the hardware hacking TP-Link is written. So it's going to be a little bit easier to maneuver around it. And there we go. So we are fine. And what I wanted to do with this. Oh yeah, I wanted to have Discord, and I want to be able to bring it up to our server directly and see the hardware hacking part. And I got a couple of commands that are there, and we're going to be able to imitate pretty much what it is. So our goal basically was to go from our shell that we have here, the UART shell. So we are quite limited with busybox. For those that don't know what busybox is, can I do help? So busybox is basically found onto a lot of different IoTs, right off the bat. But busybox have different flavors, and depending on the interpretation, but not interpretation, but depending on the implementation and how it has been done, we may have everything, like all the commands that are available with busybox, or we may have just like a small set of commands that we can actually execute, which is exactly what we are finding over here, right? So we just have those commands, technically speaking, that we can actually use. The best thing that we found is TFTP here, which is great. However, we would like to be able to do more. So what we're going to do is we are going to take a look at what we have currently here and trying to find what we need. In general, those ones, if I can remember, it's the busybox MISP that is going to allow us to do all of that.
And why MISP, Jeff?
Say again?
Why MISP?
It's depend. If I can remember correctly, again, it's me learning about the whole thing. It's because of the architecture of the CPU, at least the way that the device is built up, and you need to go for something specific. And I believe it can be found above. I would need to find it again, but there's like lots of information over here, and that's how you're going to be able to dissect what you actually need. I need to find it
definitely. One of the first things you do right after you get onto a target usually is check what the architecture is. If you don't know it already, you can pop in uname-a and see what it is. So we all know x86 architecture, x64. We see AMD processors, ARM processors. MISP is just a different.
See, it's right there.
Yeah, MIPS. My bad. And it's for little slow, low power devices. Kind of like ARM, but a little more extreme.
Yeah, exactly. So this is good. All right. So we are going to do these stuff. We are going to get a busybox MIPS. In the meantime, or not in the meantime, but something at one point we should take a look at. Okay, that's all those. Yeah, those ones I can keep them on. I'm going to do busybox, and we are going to do the MIPS down low. Oops. Are we getting it still? I think so. We have the GitHub here. I'm not too sure which one. Probably this one would be good. We have the MIPS. Was it a 64? I can't remember. It was at the very top, so it's easy enough for us to go back. Uname does not tell us. Normally we have something that's going to be coming here, but it doesn't say if it's going to be a 64-bit. 32 for sure will work if it's a 64 one.
That's right.
So I guess we can just give it a try and hope for the best.
Let me see. I'm sure there's some other good ways to check. I'm going to look into this while you keep going.
I'm just going to download all three.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to hurt to be able to have all three there.
And then, whoops, over here, we are just going to take a look. So there's settings. I can't remember. Did I write it down into Discord? There is a place for the TFTP or a TFTPD configuration. So I may have to take a look at that. Okay.
So Jeff, you can check sbin/init.
Over here on the router.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna do a cat sbin init. Oh, sorry.
Oh,
I did
run
a cat,
file
but
over
that's not a cat. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, dude. Yeah, file. That's what you need.
File.
Yeah. Yeah. So what we all just saw was a huge amount of binary data going over the serial stream.
Yeah. Doesn't tell us anything. I don't know if there's like the USB release. Init is not here, so is there anything at the beginning that tells us? No, does not tell us.
I mean, it would have showed us as it's booting, but let's see. And it must be run as PID 1. Oh, sure. Yeah, that was cat though. Okay, whatever. It's like you said, 32-bit will work. But...
Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do here. Over here, we just need to take a look at, not cat, but nano. I need to know, is it in etc and then AT? Are we getting? I'm trying to remember where is the file for this one, and that's something that I need to take a look so we can see the configuration. All right, so let's do this.
The file for what?
Config file for where is the config file for a TFPD? There you go. That's the thing. I'm wondering exactly where it's at because there is probably something. ATFPD conf.
No, just TFTPD.
Oh, TFTPD. Okay.
Yeah.
Poor
ChatGPT doesn't know what system we're on.
Yeah, but it's not showing up. TFTPD. Whoops. I hate when I press the wrong key.
Yeah, I'll look into it.
Let's see, and then TFTP. Yeah, it's not there.
It's etc default TFTPD-HPA.
Default, and then TFTPD?
Yep.
Oh, ATFTPD. Okay. Is that a folder? I'm assuming that's a folder. Is that a folder? Option port. Okay, so we see the config. Okay, so that's the config probably for your ATFTPD. There we go. Okay.
Port 69 though. This is, I think we're probably looking at a different service here.
Well, it says the option here. So we're just going to do a nano and we can review here. So basically it's going to be on port 69, which is the typical port for this. Timeout 300, retry. What else do we have here? So, okay, that's fine. The main thing I think we need to understand is this here. It's going to be under server TFTPD. That's the file or the folder that's going to be taking everything from. So we need to basically replicate or make sure we have everything like this. And all the files that we're going to have needs to be in that location. So it can be taken there. So if I do Control X to exit out of that, we did not do anything. If I do to SVR, I believe, at RV.
Serve.
Yeah. Do we have anything here? We have the TFTP. There we go. Is there anything here? There's nothing. So in this case now, we know that everything here should be good to go. If we do, let's say, a CP, sorry, and we're going to go get everything from the download.
Downloads? We already made a directory with the keys that we were trying to transfer last time.
Yeah, I'm trying to get
the
the
Okay.
Yeah, the busybox, so we get more of that. And then we can also get the busybear if you wanted to directly here. The folder is going to be into a different location for sure. So busybox, mips, and then I'm just going to do star, and then I want to transfer them here. I'm quite sure that's how it is. Permission denied.
Yeah,
I guess
you need sudo that.
Yeah, I guess I need to do that. There we go. So now LSLA, and let's do a shown, and we're going to call it Malvic. Well, we're going to go for Malvic here. So Malvic user can actually get access to all of that. Probably need to do the sudo there. There we go. So now we are good to go. So we should be able to get this. If I do also a CP on the files that we discussed about, which is, I believe, here, and then after that, it was the TP-Link. What do we have here? We have the
dropbear RSA host key.
I say again?
But dropbear RSA host key was what we were trying to transfer last time. But we
Yeah.
don't have the public key.
It was,
because
I
that
think it was here.
printed standard out.
Yeah, I think it was
okay.
right here, so under server. I think we put them up there. And I'm just going to do a star and then dots and everything copied over here. It's probably going to require sudo as well. Let's do that now. I don't know why I keep reversing this. Okay, and let's do another shown on all of them there. So everything is accessible from us, or at least on our side. So now what I have, it's the actual command that we are going to run here out of Kali. This is not something I installed, but this is something that's already installed there. TFTPD and then -- daemon. I'm quite sure that's how it is. Where is it at again? Okay, AEMON. And if we do this, is it started? Netstat ANTUP. Is it started? That started.
Yeah, on
Yeah.
UDP.
I was expecting to just have it there, and that's all right. If it works, it works.
Yeah.
Well, at least for now, it seems to be working. So, okay, good. Let's keep going with this. Now this is done. Now we have the TFTP here. We are going to be able to use on Discord.
That's better. You could do a quick loopback test if you wanted to check that out, JF.
What do you mean the loopback text? Okay, like from here?
You could try downloading a file from yourself just to verify everything.
Sure, but you know what? I'm probably just going to go directly onto the actual machine and then give it a try directly there. Since the command should be TFTPD, and then after that, what we are going to do is the remote file. So, well, I mean, if I do we have it help there? No, it does not. So I'm just going to do, let's see, a remote file that we want to have, which is called, let's say we want to get the, I'm not too sure exactly between the two of them. I'm going to try a MIPS just to start with, and then we'll see if it needs something else afterwards. We're going to call it, well, not call it, but we are going to take it, which is basically, I guess, copy selection and then paste it there. And then after that, it's called a get, and we need to go for the server. So 192.168.0.100. So I need to plug myself in first, because otherwise it's not going to work. We are seeing here that we should be connected there. That's good. All right. I hate when it does that. Let's give it a try. I cannot open MIPS. Okay, TFTP, R, busybox, MIPS. Am I forgetting anything here? No, it's the G, get, and then this one here. Okay, so it's a read-only system. Can't open busy file system. That's interesting. Okay, Let's give it a try exactly how you said earlier. Let's do that. I'm just going to go here instead. TFTPD. Over here, we are going to. That's a get. That's the one we want, and that's the remote location. That's basically how we're going to do it. It's a little bit off from how it was actually presented. Let's put that a little bit further down. 68, 100. This is weird. I saw that online working, so if there is something a little bit off, that's TFTP. TFTP, the file name.
Are you doing this backwards though, Jeff? Because right now you're giving it syntax like you're trying to download from the router.
No. Sorry, I should have, instead of being, no, that's myself. The .100 is me. .1
Right.
is the router. So basically, it should have been, yeah, you're right, 00.1. And let's give it a try like this. So that's how it should have been done, right? Because I'm going to myself right now and trying to download what's here. So I'm trying to get, and you can see here, I'm trying to get the remote file, which is dropbear.rsa key. In this case, right? So that's exactly what I'm trying to do. And for some reason, it says the usage is not right. Let's give it a try and see, like, was this the issue? Because this should be working too. At least it worked last time. Let's take a look here.
Let's just open up the man pages. It's possible you have a different version of what you were seeing.
It's quite possible. TFTP.
These old tools are notorious for having different man pages for different systems. So when in doubt, just read it.
Yeah. So maybe the one thing that we need to do is to take a look at -4, making sure it's only going with that. Technically speaking, it should. This is not available on the other machine, so we're not going to use this. Here it says basically for a different port, and we don't need a different port.
That's right.
So we are going to get file.
So that's the command, get, and then the file name.
Exactly. Get.
Probably shorthand G, right?
Yeah, the -G, exactly.
Syntax here.
So
maybe no dash. That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Okay, let's go with no dash and see how it goes.
Or just give it the whole word, because we know that should work. Right?
Yeah, so TFTP. Just checking here, 1 second. Okay.
Here, let me try to rearrange these windows.
TFTP, and then we're going to go directly to get. We are.
Yep.
I need to know what the file is.
So you wanted to do TFTP-4, right?
Yep. I just want to get the file here, so I get the -4. Then get. Then we are going to put the file in there. The file name.
Command should be after the address though. So if you're trying to do a loopback, you want to do TFTP-4 and then your localhost, then the command, which is get busybox, right?
Sure, we can do that.
Yeah.
Let's do the loopbacks 27.0.0.1. Oops.
Okay, this looks good to me as long as that file name is correct, right?
Yeah, so can we just do that like this and press enter?
Yeah, let's try it out.
Yeah, it says it doesn't work.
-C, right before get.
Yeah, but for sure we can do the -C. However, the thing is, it should not be working. Permission denied.
Cool. So check your Etsy hosts, and is TFTP running as its own user? That's kind of something that.
Let's do an step. ANTUP. And then you want to see Etsy host?
The file permissions, right? Do we have read access for the other? Like, is it?
Oh, you're talking about in this location? So
yeah, just if you go to chmod r plus o, and then the whole directory.
Okay.
O plus R. Sorry.
A plus R.
O plus R.
O plus R.
Or A plus R. Yeah.
O
that would be all.
Plus R, and then we're going to do the TFTP file. There we go.
Serve TFTP. Yeah.
Oh, I'm already.
Yeah, sure, that works. Yeah.
Yeah. I just need to do, I guess, a sudo in this case.
Mm-hmm.
So
cool.
then,
and now just LL, and let's see the permissions on everything just to make sure. So we just set the read bit on the whole directory, which looks good. It's weird that nobody owns that directory. Super weird, actually.
Yeah.
Do you want to just ch own the whole directory? Because it's owned by nobody right now.
Yeah. There we go. And then we are looking probably for Malvik.
Sure.
Over here, since this is me, it's going to make it a little bit easier. Malvik. And is there like a -R or something like that for recursive, or? I guess
yeah, it's a -R. Yeah.
-R, and then we can do probably TFTP like that. Does it work? Oh, I need to do sudo.
Yep.
Okay, and then now everything's under Malvik. Let's go try again and see if it's going to work. That's interesting. Why it's still telling me that permission is denied. We're denying ourselves.
Huh. Okay, let's see the file permissions.
On which one?
Let's see inside the directory. That's
okay. So now everything is under Malvik security. So
yeah, and everything has read access. So it's pretty weird. Oh, so I noticed you're already in that directory and you're trying to write to it as well.
No, I
write access to that directory.
I was in a directory before that. That's exactly where I was, right? Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to do. I selected the wrong one. I wanted to go to the other file, the TFTP thing that we looked at earlier. If I can.
But do you want to just change directory over to temp or something?
Yeah,
because it looks like you probably just need to sudo the TFTP.
Okay, give me a second. I just want to confirm here everything is good. And it doesn't say that it should be. Yeah, it should be good. Should be good to go. Okay. And we're a server TFTP, so it should be good. I don't think there's any issues with this part. Cd temp.
Sure.
That's where you want me to go. And then now you want to give it a try and do the TFTPD, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it seems that it worked around. So maybe it was our machine that, or sorry, not our machine, but the folder we were in. Maybe.
Yeah, I think it's because you were sitting in serve when you were trying to download it. So you would need to sudo the TFTP command.
Okay, so this one works. The only concern I have right now is because it's not working with the C. The C is not available in busybox, which is basically the what's being used on this side. So what I'd be interested to take a look at is to be able to replicate the same thing, but with our machine here, if I just do this, is it going to work? No, so it does not work. Get, and then normally it should be -R for remote. Nope.
But this is okay. You know, we've tested the server is fine, right? The TFTPD service is running. So great. Let's hop over to the router and try downloading that file.
So we have
Jeff, could you scooch the window up just a few lines so we can see the bottom?
Yeah, because
I'll get out of the way. Sorry, guys.
Great.
Oh shit.
Yeah, wrong one. Double click on that one there.
There. I can't get out of the bottom left.
Yeah. The way to be able to do that normally it's you double click on my page.
Okay.
Or my image that I have there. Okay. All right. Sounds good. So let's keep going with this over here, and we are going to take a look at that. Spin TFTP.
Let's just see the man pages on the router. for TFTP.
I don't even know if man is there.
Oh, right. Yeah, sure.
You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Does it have a -h?
Hold on. Oh no, sorry. We got the same issue right now. So what we need to do is to go into the same place as the other one. So
Yeah, sure.
var, is there a TMP? Yeah, I think so. And then let's do the same thing now. There we go.
There we
That's what we were
go.
missing.
There's a file transfer.
Yeah, good. There we
Cool.
go. We got it to work.
And let's grab the other 2 files while we're in there.
Yeah, and we have mipsel. That's there.
So for anyone that's not on Discord, I was really kicking myself last week because like 5 minutes after I got off the stream, I was like, oh, shoot, we could have done this. And it was something I mentioned really quickly in passing, but there's all these tricks you can do to exfil data, such as using base64 encoding or something like that. And we didn't have the base64 binary within this busybox instance on the router. But what we can always do, even in a plain old shell or ASH, we can use hex encoding. So it would have been no problem to grab the whole file. And as long as it's small enough, because at that point we were talking about transferring the dropbear key, convert the whole thing into hex, and then just write that into a file by copy pasting it through the serial connection. So since that message is less than a few kilobytes, it would have been no problem at all to send all those characters over the serial stream and drop it right into a file for us. What JF is doing is really important though, because we're trying to move something that's a lot more than a few kilobytes. I didn't check, but what's the size of busybox there?
It's
yeah,
1.5.
It's more than a few kilobytes, that's for sure, right? So we can't push something that is that large just as hex through the serial connection.
Yeah,
it would overflow the clipboard.
Oops. Can we do a shown right now and then do a that's easy enough, 777, because we don't really care right now, I would say. To install.
You mean chmod then, right?
Yes. I don't know why it is shown. That's because I guess we did the the other one. Okay, let's take a look. And now we have access to all of them, and then we can do a busy, but I did a space out of habit. Busybox, MIPS. Are we able to do anything with this? Help. It might be the wrong one. Let's take a look. Applet not found.
Oh, that looks good.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, so busybox mipsel. We just got, we didn't get a syntax error, so we have this running.
Yep, so now take a look. That's the difference between the other one before and what we have access now to.
Yeah.
So currently all the functions that we have, yeah, right? So that's a big difference in between the two. Big difference. We can do a lot more because if we do, let's say, busy box, and then we go straight to, how did I write that? Help, or yeah, there we go. So we see here all the currently defined functions is the commands that we can run. However, if we go here on top, we have a lot more that's available. Like we have a ton that we can do. So in our case here, if we do, let's say, a busy box, I guess I can come back here with the other one, mipsel, because that's the one we were able to actually use. We are going to take a look at some of the commands that we have. Are we able to do a uname -a at that point? There we go.
Here we
So
are.
see, we are able to see a lot more information about the machine, and we are probably going to be able to use, let's say, who am I in this case. So we can see here we are admin.
Do you want to try uname -m just to answer our previous question?
Yeah. MIPS.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I was hoping he was going to say MIPS 64 or something a little more
Oh,
specific.
yeah,
But
for
okay.
if it's 64 bits or something like that. Yeah, and it
Yeah.
doesn't say anything here, right? So it can be a little bit harder. So right now, I mean, like we would have to do a little bit more research on trying to find out exactly which version it is. But in our case right now, it just makes it easy to actually do that. Okay. The other thing
Great.
too is version 19, which works there. Which version do we have? 19. We're using a different version as well, which sometimes if at one point you try a different version, if it doesn't work, what I read is you should probably download the same version that you just uploaded there to make it safe in that case. Okay, good. All right. So now we have a lot more resources. Is there anything that you'd like to do from this point on four-way? Is there anything that interests you?
It's a good question. We have every tool that we could ever want in this new busybox, right?
Yeah.
If you're talking about living off the land, we have anything that we would ever need at this point. So I think probably we need to take a step back and think, why did we do this in the first place, right? We started off by just seeing what we're able to see, but now we're root user. We have all these programs available to us. I think the most interesting thing would be to try to pull the passwords off the device.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Even something like, can we see what the web configuration interface of the router is looking at? Let's dive into how that works. I think that'd be really cool.
Okay, so there's that we can do. There was the other theory that we had in the last session, and it was more about trying to find out exactly if we are able to use dropbear to be able to get into the machine. If there's like a way to be able to figure out how to get it done. That was the other thing too. So maybe we have two different items on our list, checklist that we could actually get done at one point, right? So
you're right. I got a little excited because we have all these new tools available to us, but when we left off, we were trying to transfer over the crypto keys to get into dropbear. So let's do that. It should be easy now. Right?
Yeah, I already have the keys. So the only thing that we need to do, it's basically replicate the exact same command that was actually sent over there. So we can kill basically the dropbear and then just restart it with our own shell. Sorry, not our own shell, but our own keys, and then probably trying to get in this way.
I think you put that on a notepad if you ended up saving that, but it is in the boot.
It seems that previous session. Do you want to restore? Yes.
Yeah.
There you go. So we have our notes, and that's part of it. There you go. So I don't need to go search. It's already here.
Yep, exactly.
For the most part, I think we have dropbear. Yeah. So that's the key. That's what was used over here. So I don't need to find this command directly. And let's do a copy here. Paste, and we are going to probably like just change it to, let's say, number 2 over here, and trying to see if we can get, that's the D. And you said this one we don't really need it, right? That's the DSS. And
can we just check with that's what it was. Yeah, -R is only RSA, -D was for DSS, and -A was for what, appending or something?
No, it's the password that's being used, the file that has the password.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, something like that. We can probably just do a drop bear. Do we have like HH help?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So -A. Does it say? -A is allow connection to from any host. No, it's capital A.
No. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, it's capital A, so it's a little bit different. I don't see capital A over here. But
I don't see it on my Ubuntu.
Yeah, but either way, if we go, let's say, go take a look at the actual file over here. Okay, let's put that file over
I'm sure we can check the -H from the router itself, though, because I know we saw this option before and we must have seen it somewhere.
I just want to take a look. See, that's the password for dropbear. So username is admin, and then password is admin. We found it, if you remember here. Right, where was it? It was right there. We found it earlier. We did, that's an MD5 equal to admin for this one. This one here, it's basically the hash that we found over here eventually under the Etsy password. Wow, maybe that's what I should do. I should probably put some notes here so we know where we found them. There we go. That was right there. So this one, I'm just going to move it down. I can't remember how to do it, but either way, no big deal. Admin. Whoops. Oh, I already wrote it down. Sorry. There you go.
Yep. So those two things
the same thing as
are,
that. And we already know where it's at. So we're good to go for this case. All right, so for those that are joining us, welcome. We're doing currently maybe we should put back the ticker for a little second. We're currently doing a hardware hacking on the TP-Link. Very easy to do. Well, I mean, like very easy. It's for people that are starting, it's the easier method to be able to start learning about hardware hacking. And that's exactly what I'm doing is basically we are streaming my journey into hardware hacking, understanding exactly how to do it, and so on, and how things are evolving onto it. We are not very experimented, but we are trying to find a way to get it done. On top of this, we have other avenues and cameras and so on that we want to actually go through. So that's going to be a very good learning curve for us. But at the same time, we hope that our journey is also going to be very helpful for you if you are extremely interested into hardware hacking. There's not a whole lot of resources on how people got there. So that's the reason why we think that can be very interesting for you folks. You can join our Discord server if you want to. We have a lot of things on the go that we are going through, and that could be very interesting in the long run if you want to be able to tag along with us. Good. So there we go. So you see here at the bottom the chat Discord, so you can join that right there.
Yep.
Perfect. Let me just bring this up because it seems that it's probably a little bit too low for that ticker. I'm going to try to make sure and maintain it at the same height all the time as much as possible. Good to go. So people understand exactly what we're trying to achieve. So far, this is the information we were able to find. We found here that it's using dropbear, and then we see the password. The password over here, it's basically admin in this case here. It's an MD5. We found that in the previous one that we had, or the previous stream that we went through. We found also admin with the password 1234. That was easy enough. Again, that was what MD5 crypt. This one, I believe, far away, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. And then we see here
too. As it was booting, we saw the command for dropbear, right? So this is where we're getting at right now. Is that we saw this command for dropbear. It's loading up a key, and then it's starting this process called dropbear, which is a replacement for OpenSSH, right? So even though we have the password and we just cracked that hash that JF was showing, we still need to use a key to get into dropbear. So we might be right on the edge of doing this, right? Do you see any more steps in our way?
I think so. I guess cool. I should probably just put the command down here because these things are happening all the time, and it's just annoying trying to write a command. Unless I do up and down all the time, I guess I'll just do that. So it's going to be a little bit easier for us, or at least for me, to do this, and going to be much easier for you to understand what I'm actually doing. So here we're going to do onto dropbear, which is exactly the folder that we found over here. And what else do we have? Does it need? It needs to go to temp, I believe, right? Dropbear.
To var dropbear.
Oh yeah, it's already in there. So
var temp dropbear.
Yeah, we pretty much needs to put it in there. And then after that, we should be good to go. Copy. And then I'm just gonna paste my clipboard over here, and let's give it a try. Dropbear. And then now we see the dropbear RSA host key that's there. Yeah, I think so.
So we want the pub key, don't we?
No, it's not looking for the pub key. So it's looking, that's the one here. The only thing is, why is there only this one here?
What do you mean?
We should have the others.
The DSS key? We weren't going to bother with the DSS key. Hey, Jeff, do you mind just swapping the windows with each other?
This one here on the left.
Yeah, so I'm on the side with the notes. Yeah. That works. Cool. Thanks, man.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, so that's what I'm wondering. Like, why is there nothing in this location? We should have some files over here with dropbear.
Like what?
Not this.
Because that was the only file that we saw getting transferred in during the U-boot sequence, right?
Yes. The only thing is, if we take a look here at our stuff, it's looking var temp dropbear, and then it has this. We should have as well. Like this one has the dropbear password, but also there's a DSS host key should be in there. That's what I'm saying, right? It's not there. So either way, no big deal. We can use, that's the key we actually used ourselves, or at least I just moved over here. So we should be able to take a look at that and just go from there. So cat dropbear _RSA host key. That's an RSA. So let's take a look if I guess it might makes more difference. Is there an MD5 sum that we can do with?
Yeah, I was just gonna say you should do an MD5 sum and make sure that these are different, and it's a different one from the one that was loaded upon booting the device, right?
Yeah, var.
And you know what? It might be helpful if you want to put your new busybox somewhere in your path.
Oh yeah, true.
That's what I would do.
Yeah, no, true. So where's that busybox thing? How would you do that?
So I would
or
put so I would say path equals and then
directly path like this.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
path.
I thought it was like
you can export it but we only have one terminal session.
Oh yeah, but maybe export does not work either.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. It does.
Okay.
So export path. Yeah, equals, and then give it var. Where's your new busybox? It's in var temp.
TMT.
Yeah, cool. And then colon.
And
yeah, full colon, and then because colon for us is the concatenate character. Yeah, exactly. And then the path variable. So this puts var temp at the front of the path. So
So that's how you would do it.
That is how I would do it.
Perfect. All right.
And then
let's press enter.
After that, if you wanted to speed it up even further, you could alias, bbox or something for your full busybox name, busybox mips or.
Okay, that'd be a way to be able to do that. So if I do just like right now, busybox, and then I do mipsel and see those. Nope. These ones are completing themselves. So
okay,
because we just did exactly what you told me to do, it's autocomplete now mipsel, so it makes it a little bit easier. If we wanted to do exactly what you're saying, what would be the best way to do it? Let's
think of a sensible alias. I think just bbox or something like that.
I would call it BS.
Cool. Let's go with whatever BS you're thinking of, JF. All right. So alias.
Just BB.
Alias BS.
BB has a command there, so BB not found. So let's do busybox instead of BS.
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah. So alias BB equals, and then just the path.
Oh, the path where it's at?
Yeah, sure.
The whole thing. Let's see.
I think you can actually just give the name of the binary.
Just the binary? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, because it's in the path now.
It's already in the path. Yeah.
Busybox mipsel. There we go. Like this.
Yep.
Press enter.
I think that'll work. Yep.
Yeah.
Just try BB.
BB. There you go. So now we just need to put BB in there, and that's it's much easier this way.
Think of all the time we just saved.
Yeah, it makes a big difference on how things are going to be happening for sure in this case. All right, sounds good. So now we have all our commands that we have here that we're going to be able to go through. We already talked about dropbear. That could be interesting to actually kill it and then see how it is, right? Do we have netstat here? Netstat and TUP, and then press enter. There you go. So we see exactly all the stuff that's going on through this. We have still dropbear over here. Can I make it bigger?
And we can see the whole call to it if we use PS, right?
Yeah, there we go. We see it there. You said PS also?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So we get the name of it by checking netstat, but we get the whole, I mean, theoretically, the whole command that it was used to open it by checking PSAX.
Yeah, it's just a little bit limited. We're not able to.
Yeah, it gets cut off, but
yeah,
we get the gist, right? It was what we just saw, and it was in your notepad already.
Yeah, exactly. So now what we need to do is basically kill this command that has been run. So 503, which is the exact same one that we had to kill last time, right? So it seems that it's starting up as the same thing.
Which makes sense, right? Because it all stems from the init process. So things are going to be started up in a certain sequence.
Yep.
So, you know, it's a machine. It's going to start up in the same sequence every time.
Yeah, there you go. So now let's do a PS, and we see it's not even here. So we're good to go. We shouldn't have any issues now. So we're going to be able to basically replicate what we just did. So we have that. I'll just move it down a little bit so I can click on that corner a little bit faster for me. No, that's not. That's DSS, host key. No, that's this one I wanted. There we go. Okay, let's give it a try with this. Copy, and then paste it here, paste clipboard. Are we going to be able to make it run? Sounds like it's running.
Hold up. Okay. Do you have the file name right there? Because if you check var temp dropbear, did you put a 2 at the end of the key name?
A 2 at the end of the key?
Yeah. Because see, you have var temp dropbear.
Did it go? Did it go in the different?
Is that the name of the file though? That's what I'm wondering.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I put. Yeah, that's right. I put the end of the that one there. I was supposed to rename it, but at the end there was nothing in that folder for some reason. So, yeah, let's go. Let's go with this, and then just take a look. PS. Now it's running. Yeah. So that's the thing. I had in mind I wanted to copy S2, and then I didn't do it. So good catch.
Yep.
There we go.
And it's in netstat too.
Netstat. Yeah. Netstat and TUP. Let's take a look. So now we have port 22 running with dropbear, right? So now technically we just put our key, our own key that we wanted in there. The other thing that I wanted to check earlier, I was looking at is, let's say, are we able to do MD5 sum in here? Does it? I think it's.
Yeah, so it is. MD5 sum has weird syntax. You gotta pipe into it, or it needs to read a file.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. Cool. I want to take a look. So we have this, and this one here should have MD5 sum. I just want to make sure we have the same file in here. So let's take a look. 6.5. So it's the exact same file that we have. So we have the private key over here. Should not be an issue for us to be able to connect as much as I'd like to think.
And this probably isn't an issue for because we use TFTP to transfer the file. But if you're doing something a little more janky, like just shooting a file over Netcat, there can be errors in when it's transmitted. So it's always good to do a quick checksum to make sure that you actually receive the whole file.
Okay, so let's do a shmod. I think it's 700, I guess.
For what?
For a RSA key. 600.
You don't need to.
600. Yeah. No, you're right. 600. I was trying to remember which number it is. Is it possible someone is doing something nasty?
It's possible.
It's possible. Someone could be eavesdropping on you right now. Okay.
So why is it showing us this, right? It's because the fingerprint has changed. And why would it show us that? Because we've already tried connecting to this router from this Kali instance, and it's showing a different fingerprint from the dropbear service. So yes, there's nothing nasty going on. We can override this safely. We know what we're doing.
Do you know what's the flag for this?
What do you mean?
Is there a flag? Is there anything that we can do? Because it just stopped there.
Yeah. So you just need to remove the key. So it says remove with, and then SSH keygen. Just look 3 lines up. Yeah, just copy paste that thing.
So just use this, and that's it.
Just pop it in.
Paste clipboard. There we go.
Cool.
Okay. Yep. And then now let's give it a try.
Yep. There. See, it's a new RSA fingerprint. And it's prompting us yes or no. So we just bypass that error and Oh, this is good. Cool. Admin, right?
Okay, so we're getting the same thing. So earlier it means that
Weird.
it was not too much of an issue. So how do we get, eventually that's something that we should take a look on, how can we get this to go through. So P2I location request failed on channel 0. Shell request failed on channel 0. So that's something we're going to be able to potentially do later on. I guess in this case, it's interesting. We should do a little bit more research and then probably go a little bit further down the road with this. But it seems that it's interesting. We got something done that we wanted to do. It's just a bit more that needs to be accomplished to go further.
Did you want to try using dropbear to connect, or do you want to keep using just OpenSSH?
I'm still going to use the UART that we have over here. Let's keep going with this. We have so many commands that we can do with busybox now that we just uploaded, that we should probably take a look at what else can we get out of this router and potentially go a little bit further down the road, right? There's potentially a couple things that we could do. Does it work with you?
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, just need to find like files that could be very interesting. So files that could be part of our enumeration could be, let's say, conf files or XML. So that's something we could take a look at, right? Because we have maybe a find that we can actually do. So let's say find.
So
yep.
Yeah, I think we should go straight to, we saw that the router was running HTTPD, right?
Okay.
So it's running its own HTTP server, which, as we know, it's going to be the web interface for configuration. So if we pop into whatever the web root for that HTTP server is, we're going to see what scripts it's running. Inevitably, it's probably going to be running out of some CGI bin file. So we can see the scripts that we're actually accessing when we use the configuration interface. And from there, we're going to be able to figure out where it's writing things like our PSK and, you know, like for our Wi-Fi password. So I think that'd be the coolest thing to check out is how does the web configuration interface actually talk to the files on this router? How does it get persistent storage, and can we access it now?
All right, sounds good. So do you have a path that you'd like to me to achieve right now, so we can go to step 2?
Yeah, good question.
So right now,
I would check in var www, just like an Apache server. But
if it's there, okay, so var, but I don't think there's any www in there. So you can see here, there's wireless HTTPS maybe, but I don't think there's anything in HTTPS.
Okay. It might also be in the serve directory, but I think it was empty when we checked it.
I think if we take a look here, in that folder, we have the web. So maybe that's web that you'd like to go.
That sounds likely, yeah.
Yeah, when you're looking at it, for any folks that are like anybody that's joining us, since we're hacking basically a TP-Link router, we're trying to figure out how it's actually designed. And not every devices are going to be the same, and it's not going to be the exact same as a Linux machine that you're hacking, right?
Yeah.
All right, so we have this over here. Is there anything in here that could be very interesting out of that? So there's a bunch of HTML, so they're probably more like the files for the web server in here.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm not seeing any CGI bin or anything like that. So let's check under main first. Or yeah, grep's a great idea. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, oh, hold on. Probably need to use BB. Grep. Well, capital R should be there for recursive. It's not there. Recurse, so maybe lowercase for this one.
Okay.
And then I in our cases. So maybe over here, we're going to be able to find anything. So basically using grep to be able to find anything that could be out of interest that has password in it within the web. So it seems that it's taking a little bit of time. We'll see if there is anything.
While it's searching, do you want to write down the path the web server's running out of? It might help us for next time we hop onto the stream.
Sure, let's write it up over here. And let's call it SRV. No, not SRV, sorry, it's web. There you go. So it's taking a little bit of time to be able to go through this. In the meantime, I'm going to take a look if there's anywhere else that could be interesting. Maybe there's mounting stuff that are happening. We could probably take a look at mount-L if there's anything else that's that could be interesting out of that. So
Sure.
yeah, go ahead.
No, you keep going. I was trying to, so I'm here looking at trying to find exactly what the likely format of where the PSK is stored, because from what I know, and this is configuring files like WPA supplicant for really bare bones Wi-Fi access on thin devices. That when you save a PSK for some Wi-Fi, it usually gets stored in a format that you can't read directly in plain text. So I wanted to know if there's any kind of tells within that file, if there's any labels that we could grep for. So you keep going. I'm going to do a little more research on the fly here.
Okay, sounds good. Because one of the things that I'm currently trying to do is to take a look at some of the conf files that could be very interesting. We've done a bunch of different things to this. What else could we do? If you give me a second, take a look at some enumeration files I have in place here that could be maybe helpful, or at least enumeration indicators that we could take a look at, which can be somewhat a little bit on the harder part. We found files that are interesting. Like you can see here, there's an actual password. This one we already cracked it. So for those that are just joining us, which is basically admin password, we took some notes that we can see here from everything that we've seen so far. Those vars seems to be interesting, potentially. Let's do again that command so we can see them fast. Oh, it's not pumping up. So let's do again. It's BB. BB is for busybox, a new file that we just entered over here. And we want to use it to the best of our abilities because the one that's found directly on the machine is very limited. So now we are able to go a lot further. So we're going to do a find. And I'm just going to do, again, the names and start.conf again. So we can just go through them and see what's there. Is there anything interesting maybe in this one? Oh, I guess I copied them. I should have just take a look at that and put this here. Was there anything else? Yeah, there's something. Okay, there's a resolve that's there that I didn't have before. Maybe I was not going through this. Okay, so let's take a look at what's in there. Could be potentially interesting. Who knows? Paste clipboard. No such file directory.
For resolve? Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, well, the find command finds it, but then when you do a cat, it says it cannot find it. That's interesting. Resolve conf. So it autocomplete. I press enter, and then it doesn't work. So let's do a BB just in case that that one has some limitation. No. That is interesting. Let's do a resolve.conf. There we go.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah, it's a link. That's the reason why.
It's a symlink.
Yeah. Copy selection. Let's do a cat. Do a paste. The clipboard here. Press enter. Okay, interesting. What? This one does not work either. No such file directory, so it's linking to nothing.
Do you have any tools like traceroute on this box? Because if you could do a traceroute to your own, I was going to say to an external address, but it's not internet connected right now, is it?
No, it's not internet connected, and okay. I have no plan to connect it on the internet. So I just
so what I was wondering was if the first hop would be a good tell of the DNS, because if something doesn't know the IP address of the hostname you're trying to look up, the first thing it'll check, besides etc hosts in Linux, is your etc resolve file to see where's my primary DNS, right?
Yeah.
Hey, cool. What'd you find?
That's exactly that. So this one here, we could have some fun and go take a look at exactly what it does. So what I'm going to do...
It's weird that that's a Chinese domain, eh?
Yeah. Well, it's not like it was a Chinese router, right? Which is TP-Link. So,
okay.
So I just disconnected it, so it gives us access to the internet. It's going to take a couple seconds. As we can see here now, I'm on Wi-Fi. It's going to make it a little bit easier to do that research. And because I'm connected through UART, it does not disconnect me directly from the actual server. So I should probably do it on the other page here. All right, so who is, and are we going to get or ping this guy? So let's do this. And then can we do a copy selection and then do a who is? There we go, and just do that. Oops, that's right. I wanted to put the IP. I can now see exactly where it's coming from or who has that. So CNC Group, China, 2008, last modified. So that's been a long time. So it's not brand new, right? So we can see a lot of information. So Guangdong, I should probably stop there so I don't butcher the actual names, but we can see a lot of information is coming directly from that. And what I'm assuming from this, and correct me if I'm wrong, Four-Way, it seems that potentially what it does first is it goes directly to this domain to be able to check the DNS. So if the company is in charge of the DNS servers over there, right, in China, they can probably see every time you're asking for a new domain, which one you're actually asking. So again, here, this is just an assumption here without going too much in depth. The only way to be able to figure this out would be to do, let's say, a Wireshark or whatever the case may be, and then pump in directly an IP, well, not an IP, but a FQDN or something like that, like, I don't know, hotmail.com or google.com, and then see exactly which DNS is actually asking information first directly at that point.
Yeah, that's exactly it. What's surprising to me is that there isn't a backup DNS on there. So if I was running a little surveillance thing here, I would list that as the primary DNS, and then make it so that DNS never actually returns a result, so that it always fails over to the secondary DNS. But that way, if you're monitoring dns.com.exe.cn, you would see every single DNS request failing, but you would see what people are looking for.
Exactly.
Every single hostname, every single FQDN that people are looking up, you would get logged. And that's a great way to abuse DNS to break privacy, which is kind of what we brought up right at the beginning of the stream, wasn't it?
yeah, pretty much. And and for those that didn't know, we talked about what's happening with the new application that's coming out from Tencent. I would call it pretty much Tencent, because it seems to be pointing out to that organizations as much as it can. We can talk about it. So basically, a lot of information is not being secured. Matt Brown was able to discover, and at least he published it directly on YouTube. So if you're interested, this is something that's in the chats, or at least we sent as a chat a little bit earlier. If you need it again, you let us know. We're going to put it in the chat again if you don't see it. But yeah, so that's something that's very interesting. So what are one of the things that we could do, or what is one of the problems that could be happening if, let's say, this router gets intercepted throughout the supply chain process, which supply chains mean that, let's say, the manufacturer makes it, and then by the time it gets to my door, what could be the issue there, right? So,
well, go ahead, Jeff. No,
I'll ask you your idea, your opinion after that. So, if, for example, like you are able to intercept a router like this, what's going to be happening is you're going to be able to like modify basically the firmware. So if you put it up, super easy. It's not complicated. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to put it directly on the stream right now. But that one there, you can like put a new firmware in place there. So throughout the whole supply chain, if, for example, I work for my company that's super important for an APT, Advanced Persistent Threat. What they can do, they intercept the router, they flash the the chip in there. They put it all back together so it looks like nobody touched it. They seal wrap it as well again, and then after that they ship it more, right? So they ship it to the destination, and that can take like a matter of minutes to be able to achieve this. And by doing that, at that point, now me, or sorry, not me, but the other person, the APT, could actually get a lot of information out of me. And the thing is, I don't even know about it because it's part of the firmware. So if I'm not able to take a look at that, that'd be an issue. The NSA in the past, if I can recall a story again that's out of on top of my head, so I would need to confirm all of this, but was able to do something like this at one point to be able to find information on others. And they like, you have to coordinate the whole thing. You have to intercept. You have to do all that stuff. So it's premeditated. Like, it needs to be coordinated and all that stuff to be able to actually do this. And then after that, if you flash it and you do something nefarious to that, well, the other person may not even know about it. So what are your thoughts on this four-way?
Well, just to add to that example that you just brought up, if we're thinking of the same one, I don't want to name names, but the vendor knew that it was occurring and allowed it. So this type of thing, it happens. It's always a trade-off between security and privacy. But yeah, so you can implant other binaries in the firmware. Sometimes different scripts that you need to run don't even take up more space. So you can plant it directly inside without really changing the firmware much. So whenever you power up the router, it will boot into an alternate version of the firmware, and the world is your oyster at that point. So you can do things ranging from only slightly nefarious, like changing your DNS, like we were just talking about, all the way to breaking your encryption, and like giving away your crypto keys. So if you are running any kind of HTTPS server right off the router, typically like just a login or something like that, there might be a backdoor into giving away the certificate for that. It might have backdoors implanted to allow people to reconfigure the router. It can do some nastier things like initiate a man-in-the-middle attack if people want to do some snooping that way. You can go into DNS poisoning as well.
So
once you control the router, there is so much that you can do to attack and any one of the hosts in the network. So say you're looking up, redbook.com or something. We could serve you a malicious copy of it, right? Without you knowing at all as the host, as the client.
Exactly. So in our case right now, we are through the UART shell. So obviously, as soon as we reboot the device, it's going to go back to what it was before, right? So it's not going to change. So what we are talking about is, let's say we extract that firmware, we make the modifications here, we kind of hard code it, and then after that, we put it back onto the chip and we basically flash it. That's what we are talking about. That could be the issue here. And this is something that we are going to experiment eventually. This is not something I want to do just yet because I think we need to go through some other process and discover some extra things in our case.
And this is not far-fetched at all. So it is normal and I would say expected for the firmware to be updatable on a router. If you're buying a router that you can't update the firmware, you bought the wrong thing. So you should expect some kind of way to change the firmware on the device. Sometimes that's like you need to bring the file over with a flash drive. That's a horrendous way to do it. Usually a router should be updating itself periodically. But yeah, from what I've seen, half the time when you pop into somebody's router, you realize it's like 4 or 5 years out of date, and it's a really bad thing. But yeah, it's just because it's called firmware doesn't mean it's completely static. It can be changed. It's normally changed. So what we're talking about is not outside the realm of possibility at all.
Yeah. So now let's take a look. We have another DNS one that says noip.com, and we are going to do the same thing, or at least a similar thing with this one. And now we're going to do a whois on this network operation center. That's a NOC. It doesn't say. So Vital Work Solutions, I'm not too sure who they are. Copy selections, Renault, US. It says US, but Vital Work Internet Solution.
Where did you get this address?
I got it because I went directly onto the var temp dconf noipdns.conf.
Okay.
Right. And then I did the same thing as the other one. I pinged this IP or this domain in the subdomain. Then I got the IP. Then I did a who is on the IP. So it is possible that whoever owns TP-Link and so on also got some devices in the US. It is possible.
It's also possible that they're taking the same hardware and marketing it in two different places, because there might be more legal restrictions in China for when they're selling the same device. There has to have a certain DNS on it already. So for anyone that's watching, your very first privacy move, whenever you get a new router, is to change the DNS. It's one of the most basic ways you can protect your own privacy. If you're changing the DNS at the host level, that's fine, but changing it from your router is another really great option, because I don't want to rock the boat too much, but your internet service provider is also logging your DNS queries. So if you change to an independent DNS or one that is more global, it's usually a good privacy move.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you should do, especially if you send your data pretty much to a location where there's no privacy, especially if you care about your privacy.
That's right. That's exactly it.
Yeah, and yeah. So here it does not really say anything other than, it doesn't say anything that seems to be out of this world, and that could be feasible. And a lot of companies, like even in China, are going to use American companies to be able to do their to be part of their business, right? Because it doesn't mean it's nefarious. It doesn't mean that the company is doing something bad by dealing with Chinese, because obviously, like, anybody needs some sort of internet solutions or so on. So that's what we would need to do a little bit more research on it and try and find what are they actually doing with this. But either way, in this case here, I don't think we need to deep dive into this one. That might be a rabbit hole, or maybe something we can do offline ourselves. And if we found anything interesting, we can publish it afterwards. But for now, I think that's fine, I would say. What do you think?
Yeah, and no, I agree. And we should really highlight that we're not saying that they're doing anything nefarious just because they have a certain DNS loaded in there. Because, like I said, that might be a legal obligation from TP-Link's part.
Very true.
You know, we're not experts. We don't know the legal landscape. And this is a normal thing that's done. So it makes a lot of business sense to load your device to be shipped globally and then just sell it in different markets and put it in a different box for each country it's sold in, right? So, yeah, not throwing any shade on TP-Link.
No, exactly. That's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to discover.
Just want to be clear
how they're using it.
That's right.
And so far, even though we have the password, even though we had changed the RSA key and all that stuff, we weren't still able to connect to it. So there is something in the back end that we probably need. Well, not the back end, but there's configurations that are there with dropbear SSH that we are not sure 100% that we would have to troubleshoot and figure it out and potentially get access to it eventually. At that point. But for now, we are not at that point.
We'll take another look at that, though, because I think that'd be a fun thing to do later. But we'll talk offline.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I'm able to ping it. I'm able to ping it. I'm able to resolve it with an IP, but I have no response back whenever I do that. So if I do put this IP over here, do a whiz, that's Oracle bare metal operations. Okay. So again, that's another indicator here that Oracle is part of that, and Oracle is not a bad company, right? So at the end of the day, these type of stuff, like Fairway was mentioning earlier, these type of stuff are happening and will still happen in this case. Okay. So there's not much that we're learning here over here. So I don't know if there's like something interesting in any of those conf files other than the first one we just looked at. I'm going to take a look real quick, but we should probably see if there's like any other stuff that could be interesting. So it's not going to any other location. Okay. It still stays within the same place. So these things are, I know, like for some of you that are not used to hardware hacking, some of these stuff are happening. It's annoying, but this is it. It is what it is. We have to deal with it right now. We could have find a way to, because we have netcat, I believe. Can I do netcat? BB and C. Okay, so we have netcat, and we have also probably the E. Okay, yeah, there we go, -E. So we're going to be able to use that if we wanted to, and that's a way to be able to avoid all those issues back and forth if we wanted to. Right now, I don't think it really matters. But
which issues are you referring to, Jeff?
This is happening all the time, right? So you're trying to do your stuff, and then there's lines happening as you're trying to do something, and then kind of throw you off. So if we do that, let's say, for example, and then we have -E bin sh, and then I do 192.168.0.100, right? And then this one here, I have it ready, and C LVMP. I didn't put any. Let's do it on 443, for example. Can I do that? Okay, there we go.
Oh, weird.
All right, my audio just cut it. That was the end of the power or the juice I had on that little thing here. So I'll plug it again, and then good thing I'm able to hear when there's like an issue or something like that. So it's just easier to be able to react accordingly. All right, let's plug it in, and then I'm gonna have to bend a little bit over to keep talking once in a while. It's not gonna be as easy as I wished I was able to do it, but I forgot to basically charge my device. Okay, so let's make it a little bit closer.
In your busybox, do you have Tmux? Because that would also help.
That's a good question. If I have
you
it,
could just open up a different pseudo terminal, right?
Yeah, I'm not too sure, but if you give me a second, I'll just make sure that it's all good to go. I do believe I was 443. Yep. And then if I press enter, we should be good to go with this. I believe so. Did I do a mistake? Busybox. Pipe IP port. Does it need the 2 dots for this one?
Oh, weird.
No.
No. It says, but you do need a -P for the port.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's what I forgot.
Is that weird?
Yeah, no, I don't think it's weird. I think that's how it was, isn't it? No, it doesn't.
Not usually. All right, cool.
Okay, no, this one, the -E may needs to be towards the end.
Yeah, that's that's how it shows in the help text there.
Yeah.
Usage.
-E bin sh.
Yeah, you probably caught it.
Can connect.
Oh, no root. Okay. Well, can you ping that host?
Oh, no.
Are you sure
you
can still have that same IP? You're
plugged
in.
Take a look at my camera.
Well, I mean, hey, maybe you're on Wi-Fi, right?
I'm on Wi-Fi.
There are a couple of antennas in there.
I wanted to get the whois functionality, right? So I need to query the internet. So that was the thing. And you can see here, I just connected directly on that thing. So it means that I should be able to do it now. Can connect to connection refused. Let's do it again. Why is it saying connection refused? So let's do this. Let's do a sudo instead, just in case for some reason it does not work well. I don't think that's the issue, but can't connect to the host.
If it says it's listening, then that's not the issue.
Yeah, so let's say if I put it on 81 and I do this on sh. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
81. Is it going to work? Connection refused. That's a little bit odd at that point.
Can you just prove to me that that is your IP?
Over here?
Yep.
IF config.
Yeah, sure, that works.
So that's
.100. Okay.
Yeah, so that's a good IP. That's for sure. That's the first one. You always start with the first one that connected. So which is weird. BB port 81. Let's do 53. The thing is, maybe there's some connections or some stuff that are stopped directly by the IP table, right?
Yeah.
So that could be the other thing too that we are facing.
Do you want to
53.
use
So
a
we're
more
gonna
chill
use
board?
DNS.
Like, okay, sure.
Nope, connection refused again. I don't think we have in map. That could be. Oh, that could be cool to download and put there to query itself inside.
I guess so. Sure.
Well,
Or,
we don't need.
once
to
we
do
get dropbear working, we can open up a proxy and use whatever tools we want through it.
that. Yeah, we could do that. But that's weird.
Why don't you choose a port over 1000 in the non-reserved space?
Yeah, I guess we can do that.
Just a humor poor four-way over here.
All right, let's give it a try. So it says
okay.
confused. I remember we had the IP table.
Just give it a regular like a bash reverse shell. Oh, I guess you don't have bash, do you?
No, I don't have bash. And
okay.
if I'm just going plain and simple this way, it's still not allowing me to go there. So it says connection refused. That's why I'm wondering if that's an issue with that. Hold on, I'm about to.
And I'm pretty sure we checked this last time, but you're not running any firewall on your Kali box, are you?
On my firewall, no, I should not be running any firewall. And if we are taking a look over here real quick, and we do a what's it called again? A netstat and TUP. Take a look at that. This one here, it's like listening all across the board. So it should be good to go.
Okay.
Technically. But it's not working right now. We were able to do it through port 69 though. So maybe that's what we need to do. Do it.
Sure.
Because we know 69 worked. We were able to actually do it. If I do that and then go here. 69.
Is your TFTP listener already shut down?
Can't connect to remote hosts.
Yeah.
So regardless of whatever we do, it's not working. Can we do, let's say, a telnet? Automatic login user -a. Don't need to put that. Oh, there you go. So port, for some reason, it's netstat. Oh, sorry, not netstat, but netcat. That's not able to actually do it, as we are able to show that this is the case. And we can see here, we can talk back and forth. So the connection is actually happening on port 69. And if we exit, there we go. Okay. So now if we decide to go back to netcat and then do port 69 like this, is it going to work? Oh, I need to bring it back up. Okay, so now it works.
Oh, huh.
So for some reason it says that the -p needed to be there, but it does not need to be there. So port 69 works. Now we're going to do a -e bin sh, and that should be good. We just need to bring this one up. There you go.
Great.
ID, BB, does it work? Oh, okay, so probably at that point we would need to redo our stuff.
So that's normal, right? Because we don't have the alias in your other.
Correct.
In the shell you just opened, right?
Correct, exactly. Where it's not exactly the same, but it's still in the same location. So, but if we use busybox, it should be actually working. So as you can see, it actually worked. If we go var tmp busybox mipsel, we have also access as the other one. So it can kind of prove you that we're able to get access to the whole thing. And at the same time, you're not going to see those two here happening all the time, which is somewhat annoying, right? Since we want to probably do a couple things left and right, we probably would want to do, let's say, Control Z and then do the echo, raw, something like that to be able to move further. I can't remember on top of my head, but it'd be another like possibility to be able to keep it going, right? So it seems that it's feasible to do that. Is there anything else?
Do we have any tools that would help the shell? Because normally my go-to for this is Python, Perl, or Bash itself. If we're trying to upgrade.
Yeah, we have.
Do you have anything So there's Ash. Yeah. Do you want to see how it looks in just Ash?
Yeah, sure.
You should at least have a prompt, right?
Yeah, I'm going to go back on the other one. It was just to show people here that are listening that we are able to avoid all these connections happening, right? So it's much easier this way if people wants to do it. But to me, I'm going to keep it going on the other one because otherwise this one now, if I try to go with the arrow, is going to be an issue. And we don't have Python to be able to kind of elevate it unless we do the raw echo, stuff like that. So, all right, let's go back here. All right, so you said that you want Ash to give it a try?
No, that was through the reverse shell.
Oh, okay.
Just if you wanted a prompt.
Okay, let's give it a try then. Let's give it a try and see what it does. Okay. All right, let's do that. So should we do it? No, we should do it with the one that we have in our case. EMP, busybox, mipsel, and then we're going to do hash right there. ID. Who am I? So
it's not going to change what's in your path. You would still need to busybox. But I was wondering if you would get a prompt.
Say again?
I was wondering if you would get a prompt. See, it's not even showing you what directory you're in.
Yeah, correct.
Yep.
Correct. So either way, I'm gonna kill it and then go back over here. It's gonna be much easier to keep going with this. Okay. Let's do BB over here. So we know Netcat works, so it's not an issue. Netcat works a little bit different than the other ones, or the one we're used to. So not too much of an issue, but still need to keep that in mind.
It didn't though. It only looked like it was going to be different due to the
so yeah, you're right. You're right.
It actually worked the same. It was normal.
Correct. Yeah, very true. Very true. So everyone that's listening to our stream, so make sure that you chat with us. That'd be cool. If we are able to have a conversation with you, that'd be great. Otherwise, happy listening at the same time. If you want to learn about hardware hacking with us, that's exactly what we're doing. We're learning about hardware hacking. We have expertise with Linux, especially if Huawei has more expertise than me on that. But at the end of the day, hardware hacking is slightly different. So we need to adjust ourselves. We need to understand exactly what's going on. So thank you very much for being part of that journey there. All right, so what other stuff that seems to be pointing out to something interesting that we could actually use with the new busybox we just uploaded there? Doesn't seem to have much there, right?
I mean, it depends on what you want to do, right?
Well,
once we have a goal, that's what matters.
Yeah, which right now I don't really have an actual goal. I'm trying to see what we could have in there that could be very interesting, right? And that's the main thing. And we kind of need to figure that out.
I mean, so we already kind of put a pin in checking out the web interface, the configuration interface for the router, because there's definitely going to be some stuff there. It might be cool to look at. There's a few directories inside the var www that we didn't look at.
Yeah.
Was it var temp www? Anyway.
No, it's
inside the web server. Yeah.
/web, but we didn't find the actual HTTPD or something like that configuration.
That's right. Yeah. So let's see what script is running. Let's see what server side scripts it's running.
Do we have?
Don't care about the JavaScript. Let's see how it is saving things, because at the end of the day, we know that there has to be a link between when we're writing down variables in the configuration interface and it getting stored to persistent memory on the router.
Yep. So now what I'm doing for those that are just watching, I'm just looking at the at top, which basically is taking a look at all the different services that are there. And if there's some that starts that we are not aware, we might be able to find this out. But it doesn't seem so far that there is something. Like there's another file. Oh, that's right. There's another thing that we can also use if we wanted to.
For what?
I think they call it PSPI, right?
Yeah, but you would need a mipsel.
Yeah, I don't know if there is.
And somebody in our Discord server brought up a really cool way to get tools onto other boxes, and that's through cross compilation. And this is a really, really good point because we're dealing with the chipset that neither JF nor I are very familiar with, right? I love the tool pspy that JF is referring to. It's a program that analyzes memory to get a view kind of like what we're looking at with top or with htop, where it shows you what processes are running and what command line arguments they're ran with. But you can often see more interesting things through pspy than you would normally have access to because it has direct access into the memory. So I don't know about you, but it's one of my favorite things to run as soon as I get into a new target, because often enough people will run things in an passing environment variables to a command in an insecure way, and it's a great way to snatch passwords right off a terminal.
Yeah, I'm wondering what's the S stand for?
Um,
Does it say anything here? Oh, it says it.
Oh, there you go. Small.
4 bits version. Oh, that's a small version. Okay.
Yeah.
So it does not really matter, and I don't think we're going to be able to make it run there.
Right, and they compressed it by running it through UPX. It's a really, really handy tool.
Yeah. So that's something probably we should not think about.
No, let's not, please.
Unless we have expertise in cross-compiling, but I don't think that's something we are going to touch right now.
I think the words that just came out of your mouth do not exist. Cross-compilation is always like something that you want to tear your hair out for.
Yeah. But that would have been
never
a good
as
one.
simple as it seems.
Yeah. So for those that are not sure exactly how it is, you're going to see here an example of how it looks like potentially soon. So he's running the 32. Hold on.
And so that's dev shared memory, right? This is where it's looking, right?
And if you're doing like Hack the Box or you're doing like any other type of platform, that's something that you're probably most likely going to use.
Yeah.
At one point or another.
So I was doing a box earlier today, and I used this very tool. It's one of my go-to things. It's one of the first binaries that I transfer to a target, if I don't mind being noisy. Because you can see stuff like, if you're on Hack the Box, you probably know that cleanup scripts run all the time to keep players from interfering with each other. Well, analyzing what cleanup scripts are running is a great way to know exactly what the privilege escalation vectors are. So sometimes I'll pop into pspy and just see what's the cleanup stuff happening, because that's a really good hint about how to do your privask.
Yeah, exactly. So that can be a good indicator, especially if you're stuck at one point. But either way, that's not something we are going to take a look at much more deeper. And so far, that's the file. The only file we were able to actually use because it's mipsel in there. All right, let's close this one. And then reduce that. So it seems that there is not much that seems to be running. There's the HTTPD, which I'm wondering exactly where it's getting everything. So maybe 332, we could take a look at that proc. I think it's proc, right?
It's /proc and then /332.
322. Not caps. It's I wanted to do LSLA or LL. Does it work? No.
I would just change directly into it. You go into the directory.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. And now see what files you have. So Linux creates special files for every process. So if you wanted to see what HTTPD was, what command started it, you can check the CMD line.
The CMD line?
Or status. Yeah, CMD line.
Okay, so CMD line.
Or stat is kind of cool if you want to see how long it's been running. Environ is you can leak the environment that it was run under. Yeah, all kinds of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So
what I'm wondering is like, which conf file is it using? Probably.
So it's using, yeah.
Like where can we find this? We did a find earlier, but I don't think there's anything that was related to that. So if we go take a look, that's basically the one that we have. We have the UDHCPC, UPnP, RAV DVD.
conf?
DHCP. There's a
I
bunch
think
of
it's going to be a
conf.
whole directory, JF, not a
It's quite
single
possible.
configuration file.
I
Yeah.
would just like to know where it's at. Maybe.
Oh, we were looking at it. You wrote this down. We want the web server root, right?
No, not the web server root. I'm looking for the actual file that says how the HTTP D should be able to or should react, right? Because the root didn't seems to have anything in there. So if we take a look at web,
yeah, look at all this. This is a website, right?
well, that's the website.
Index.html.
That's the HTML,
Yeah.
but that's not exactly what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the actual just service. I'm not looking for the files of the website. So you know,
Oh.
if for
Sure, okay.
shhp.com for something like that, right? Something like this. You understand?
Yeah, sure. Well, would it be? Could we check with system D?
Yes. You want?
I'm not sure what service manager it's using.
Yeah, I don't know. And under proc, we wouldn't be able to see it.
No, I don't think so. Because you need whatever service daemon is running.
Okay, give me a second. I'm just gonna take a look at.
So I have no idea what it'll be on this mipsel busybox or anything, but yeah, or even if it would be the same way, because I'm used to things like Debian or Ubuntu that have their own, like the services are a lot more predictable.
Let me see.
Is that what you're wondering, Jeff? Is like where the daemon is running from?
No. For example, we run the TFTP over here, and I was wondering exactly where that TFTP config file was. We come, how far am I?
Oh, okay.
And I think it's right there. So you see here, right? That's the conf for that specific place. Is that like just HTTPD maybe under default? Maybe that's what I should have taken a look at. They're all under defaults. Well, this one is under default, but maybe this one is fairly similar. Okay, so it's taking too long to be able to find this. It's not a super powerful computer. Do we have a default? No.
Is it under? Yeah, can you just show us all of that? See? Oh, okay. And is there an entry under initd?
There's bins in there.
Because under initd, we should have the services that it would run.
Right? Oh yeah, cd init d lsla rcs. No, that's Oh, is that the? This is what's happening.
Like the end of what would have been after U-boot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is good. You know, that's when this should start up.
So it says, does it copy here? Let's see back. Dev. So I think this is a good file to take a look at least to understand what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. Hello, ma'am. That's interesting. This is, yeah, it looks like very much the same as potentially what they are actually doing. So config.-mii. Is that? I'm wondering.
Let's read it.
Yeah. I just need to find where it's at. It's not found. So why would that be there? What's cost? So by the way, I'm not too worried about running anything on that router. It's not connected on the internet.
Yeah.
It's separated, and for you guys, I mean, like that's the only connection I would have normally. If you take a look at my screen there, you don't see it big, but Even my laptop is not connected. It's only through the UART shell, and nothing else is done there. Init big buffer. Yeah, so that file, we are not able to find it, so I have no idea where it's at. However, it gives me an idea that it could be good to take a look at also if we have a list. Oh, okay, maybe that's what happened. Hold on. I was supposed to do the BB first.
Oh.
Yeah, I forgot to do that.
It's under SBin. Okay.
Copy. Let's do a cat. Paste it there. Enter. So now.
Oh, config VLANs. Sure. Interesting.
So at the end of the day, we could also, like, people that has access to those type of firmware could like do bad stuff. But on the other end, if you have good people that understand exactly how it works, you can make it a lot more, like a lot safer in this case. And then still use that freaking, like that freaking device, that device that costs you $20 to potentially have a much better security in place there.
You could also use that for evil, right? You could set up a separate VLAN and then that only the hosts get connected to, so kind of a LAN within a LAN, and then have a trunked VLAN where you're doing surveillance on everyone from, and they can't see your device.
Yeah.
So that's a fun thing.
That would be interesting to take a look at on what we can actually do with it. Because most people, what they do is they show off all that stuff, what can, like, all the stuff that's being done on the router, but they are not showing off what could be done on the evil side, like you just mentioned.
Yeah,
that's the part of the videos I've never seen really. Again, this is not something I would recommend, but this is something that we are extremely interested into understanding how can we do it, and then after that, do something nefarious to a router like this, and how can we detect it ourselves? That's something that could be very interesting. And there's probably a bunch of logs that are there into that that router. How can we get those logs to go directly to a SIEM? Right? I think that could be interesting to experiment at one point.
Do we have any type of logging directory that we could look at?
Let's do.
And just to add to your point, JF, like, yeah, sometimes I have nefarious ideas and stuff, but you know, if you never explore what's possible, you're susceptible to people trying to scare you. So if you actually know what's possible and what can be done, you have a realistic understanding of what the threat model is. And you don't, sometimes you don't need to be scared by all the fear mongering that's going on. So it's always good to understand instead of just being accepting things at face value. Sometimes they're trying to sell you something. Sometimes they're trying to scare you, but it's good to know the truth either way.
Yeah, true. Very true.
It's not that I'm an evil guy. I just like to know how things work.
Well, I think this is the right way to do it.
Yes.
If you don't do that, you will never learn pretty much what are the capabilities of the attackers. Most of the time, I say that the best. I'm not saying it's always applicable 100%, but most of the best security analysts are going to be the one that understands the attacking piece of it, right? The ones that actually did an SQL injection, a cross-site scripting, or anything like that, to be able to understand if it's feasible or not, or what it is exactly, instead of just like passing it along to someone else. So you might be able to initiate your incident response much faster in this case, right? So, and that's basically what we are trying to figure what we can do with this. That's going to be beneficiating us directly. So we're going to keep going for probably another like 20 minutes. And then after that, we're going to stop it there. I think there's lots of stuff we are doing, we're discovering, and probably going to have to do a bit more research and trying to find what we can do with this. But
so we're going to have a part 3.2 later on?
I could have 3.2. We might go to a part 4 and then go back to 3.2 afterwards. We'll see.
Cool.
We'll see. I don't know. There's nothing and we want to press too much around. But obviously the goal is to be able to learn as much as possible and being able to get the gist of it.
So what are you looking for right now?
Well, I was just looking at those files over here, which is interesting. It's a .bin, right? So, and there's an EEPROM over here.
And the EEPROM. So for anyone that's not familiar, EEPROM is your electronically erasable read-only memory, programmable read-only memory. So this is like persistent memory on the device. So if we're going to look for somewhere that's holding your passwords between resets of the router, it's within that EEPROM.
Yeah. We already looked at default configs, right? I remember. Let's do it. Do a cat.
Okay.
And then default config. Sorry, I got thrown off a little bit because it moved. It did something else.
BB.
Yeah. So it did something else, and then I didn't realize there was already something in there. Okay.
Okay, so it's fine.
That's the default config. XML. Interesting. Is there anything that we can get out of that? Oops. I'm going to do a string instead.
So something that might make this a little more comfortable is if we do we have tar in our new busybox? Because we could tar up the whole directory and send it over to the Kali box for analysis. We don't need to work just with the basic tools that we have on hand. We can use some more capable and advanced tools from the Kali machine.
Yeah, we have tar.
All it takes is a quick archive and then a file transfer.
Yeah, we have tar.
Okay, great.
So
did you want to tar up all of Etsy and send it over to Kali?
Okay. Yeah, let's do that.
Sure.
Yeah, so tar, and then I am assuming it's going to be -C. I can't remember exactly all the ones.
Yeah, CZF. Yeah.
CZF, and
so
then
that'll create a like a zipped. That's how I remember it in my head. Just create a zip file but it's a tar.gz if you add the Z flag. Yeah.
I guess it's like that.
Oh man, I always have to check.
Okay,
you never want to use this one badly. Don't switch around the args.
Why not? Let's try it. Okay. Read-only file. So we're not able to do that. And we're kind of root or admin.
Yeah, did you get the arguments backwards?
Well, does it make a difference?
I have to check every time. Yeah, it makes a huge difference. Okay. You can overwrite a whole file system that way. It's super bad.
Well, okay, so this one here does not matter too much because I just unplug, plug it back, and then transfer the files, and we're good to go.
Okay.
So I'm not too worried about it. All right, it's a router that I think we can get it back, no issues.
So yeah, the name of the file, the name of the archive comes first, and then what you're archiving.
Yeah, so that's exactly what I did.
Nope, you have it. It's
okay.
Currently backwards. Yeah.
You're talking about this?
That's right.
To move on the other end? Okay.
And it's .target.gz because we added the Z flag.
Okay, GZ. Okay, there we go. And then we talk about Etsy star.
Just slash Etsy and then end it with a slash because we're not doing all the files under Etsy. We're doing it's inherently a recursive operation. Okay,
so BB tar CZF and then
right there.
So sorry, say again. Oh, here
it looks good to me.
Okay, it looks good. But when I press enter, it says can't execute GZIP. No such files or directory.
Oh, then just remove the Z because BB clearly doesn't have gzip, and that's what the Z is doing for us.
Okay.
Yep.
Removing leading. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's just warning. So
yeah,
go check and see if your file exists. Var temp.
It's here.
Yeah, there it is. See, you got the whole thing.
All right, so
now you can transfer that file over.
Yeah, NC NV. What I need to do.
So Jeff is about to do something where we're doing probably the most basic method of file transfer possible, where we're just sending it directly over Netcat. So there's no safeguards on this. There's no error checking, anything like that. If we had dropbear working, then we would go straight to using SCP. Maybe a bit less error prone way would be to use TFTP. There's nothing wrong with what JF is doing. It's just we won't know when the process is terminated or how far along it is. And once we're done, we should definitely check the checksum of the file on both sides to make sure that we got the whole thing.
Yep. That's in general, this is the method I use, or at least one of those methods I use. I prefer to
Nothing
use
wrong with
Python
it.
if I can. Huh?
There's nothing wrong with it.
No, exactly. So just to explain this, right now it's busybox. It's hold on. It's the file that we uploaded earlier, right? We just name an alias, and we have netcat. The attack N is basically do not look for DNS, right? Disregard that. V is for verbose. This is the IP we are going to shoot it through, because right now we are going from the router, which is .1 at the end, and then going to my machine, my laptop over here, which is .100, right? Port 69, we are listening on port 69. And here is the smaller den, which means that's basically like this file. Oh, are we in the right location? We are not. So I need to go back over here, and that's going to be a small change, which is var tmp.
We also have an error on the Kali side. We need to pipe it into a file.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay, so you're completely right. And then now what we're going to need to do is we are going to push it directly to another file. We are under that server. Let's call it the same way, etc dot tar. And oh, did we? tar.gz? I thought we changed it. Didn't we? Oh, no, we left it that way.
We took the Z argument off, so yeah, you should probably just rename it to tar. But
yeah, just leave it tar.
As long as we know.
Yeah. So by sending the information directly to this IP, right, it's going to send it over here. So we're going to have a connection. And what's happening here? We do a netcat listen, which is L, V, verbose, and again the DNS, and then the port 69, which is the exact same port as the other one. But what we're doing is we're going with the greater den, which is basically putting it into our TFTP file here, or folder here, right? So I press enter. Now we are waiting. As soon as the information is going to go directly through my netcat, it's going to be transferring the file. So I'm going to press enter here, and it did not work. And C and V. What am I missing here? Because I didn't do N. I did N. I didn't do V before, so maybe V is not available. So let's just do this.
Okay.
Oh, that's interesting enough.
Invalid option N. So do we even need it?
No.
So what JF is doing is usually netcat can accept a host name as well.
We used netcat earlier.
Yeah, we did. Oh, we have a question in the chat. Have a project I'm trying to learn gray market Hikvision. Yeah, very familiar with those. NVR. Wait, NVR? Is that a network video receiver or something?
Put it on.
Yeah.
There you go. Put it on stream here. So people
thanks,
can see.
Yeah. UART loads to NVR type commands. Wow. This Let's Smash 007 is doing basically our next project for us. So if we were talking about doing a network connected camera, this is probably what their project is right now, which is awesome. So stay tuned, Let's Smash. We're going to be right on the same wavelength as you, hopefully in a few sessions.
Yes, if you have, for example, I know you said Hikvision, but if you have, let's say, a model number or something like that you're actually talking about, maybe that's the one we should buy and then have another stream at one point. That'd be great. I'd love to be able to do that. In the meantime, I mean, like the next one could be the one you're referring to, but I also have another one that we are going to take a look at eventually. It's like $30 Canadian, so super cheap and easy enough to be able to get. I know at one point there's like some stuff you can do with these type of things, and it's basically to how can I say that? It's basically to short the pins onto the chip at a specific point. So we may need to do that type of things. But make sure if you have the actual model number, I'd like to be able to get into it and give it a try and see how it goes. Yeah,
that'd be really cool.
Yeah. Do projects with the stream, with the people that are in the chat. That'd be great.
Yeah,
exactly. So, all right. So now, for some reason, this one does not seem to want to work. So sorry, I got my laptop a little bit further down. You guys can see just a portion of it. For now, normally I have a wireless mic, but for now, there's no battery. So we have to deal with it. Okay, so this one here, for some reason, does not work. So if we are trying to make it as simple as possible for now, I don't know why it went up. I guess I pressed the
So,
wrong button there. Okay. Let's do this.
We might also be able to load it off of the web interface and do it as a file download. So that's another option. We can also put it through TFTP. Okay.
That's interesting because we
What
were
was our
looking at
issue
port
before?
earlier.
It was the port flag, right? That's what messed up before.
I guess we can just use the -P for this one. Does it work?
So what resolved it the last time that we had this issue?
Hold on. Not sure why it's doing this. I'm going to go back to the beginning. We get all the UART information because it should be working. TFTP. If I had TMUX, it might be. Oh yeah, you asked me to give it a try with TMUX.
Yeah, or I mean, you should have a find feature within your Terminator or whatever it is.
Right now, I think
that's
I'm using,
Xterm, isn't it?
yeah, I'm using the normal one. I'm not even using Terminator at this point.
Okay.
So busybox, we were able to. Okay, so now they're here. Let's take a look. TFTP. Oh, that's the TFTP we did. Okay, so
no, we did netcat after that. Yeah, after we opened up the reverse shell. So after this, yeah,
we did a few enumeration over here.
Yep.
Because that's. I'll be honest with you, it's weird because we had issues earlier. We figure it out, and for some reason
that you're doing. Yeah, it's a fun little accidental recap that we're doing right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm very surprised that it's not working. Should be fairly easy. Dropbear, we already tried that. Worst case scenario, I'll just keep trying a couple of things. Maybe I should have taken note of that. Now I'm realizing it. Trace routes. Okay, so I probably passed it. So either way, let's
Is it in your command history?
Oh yeah, true. Is there?
Because it'll be the previous.
Should I just write history? I can't remember. I know I can.
Yeah, I don't think there is an sh history file. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but if it was me, I would just keep mashing the up key until we find the net.
That's what I did.
Netcat.
Yeah, I did that. Yeah, and it stops here, so we're limited. Oh, okay. That's what I did, right?
Okay.
And we're limited there. So it is possible when we did the netcat earlier, it kind of screwed that up, and then I quit, and then it kind of removed the whole history. But this.
Oh, Jake's here. Hey, Jake. Good to see you.
Dragon Malvik. Hey, how's it going, Jack? So it's great to see you again. It's great to see you. You're quite consistent, which is great. Love it. How's it going for you? And let's smash. Are you able to put the actual model into the chat so we can actually take a look at it? If you sent a link, sometimes it don't go through. There you go. So he's telling you as well a hey as well and shake. Good. Okay, so all
right, netcat, what's going on?
Yeah, netcat should be working now. So for your own essay, Jake, or situational awareness, that's what we say in the military. It's basically we were able to send files back and forth. We made it work with TFTP, and we were able to get basically the dropbear key that we were talking about in there, and we were also able to put a busybox mipsel, which is. Oh, you didn't see the notification. Oh, sorry about that. Last time I know you got them, but this time maybe it didn't go through. So it's unfortunate, but yeah. So what we can show you here, so you can have a understanding real quick without going too much in depth, because obviously we have other people in there in the chat. We got var TMP, and then if we take a look here, we have mipsel. So we downloaded a couple of mipsel. I wasn't sure exactly which one would work, or mips. Sorry. All the versions that was there, and this one seems to be the one that works. So whenever we're using this one, now we have access to a bunch of commands, and we put an alias directly on that, and we were able to basically get it done. So now we have all those commands that we can actually run directly, and we have netcat. Now our issue is to get netcat to actually behave, and it seems that it does not want to behave. 0.1. And can I just do this on 6.9? Normally it should work, and it says cannot connect. Oh, last time we had somewhat of that issue.
Yeah, it's the exact same issue, right?
TMP. Whoops, not that. This. Yeah, that's the exact same issue that we're getting, and we were able to get connection on port 69. And unfortunately, I guess I'm not going to be able to find that freaking that command that we did. Unfortunately, whoops, it went back down. So I'm guessing I got something, an update or something like that. Okay, so BB was transferred. We saw that. Are we able to use netcat?
So we got a part number from Let's Smash 007.
Oh, good. Let's take notes.
So this is the Hikvision, what I think is a camera. Let me punch this in. DS7104N.
DS-7104N-SN. There you go.
Yeah, cool.
If it's not too far away or not expensive or something like that, depending on cost or something like that, that's something that we could be looking at. If we take a look here real quick.
It looks like a very comparable product to what you picked up.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Amazon.com. Oh, yeah, I'm connected. Oh, I'm still connected. And for some reason, I'm able to go there. Okay, so let's take a look. Because for some reason, that might be the reason why I'm not able to reach it.
Why?
Because it says I'm on Wi-Fi.
That's fine. You have two network interfaces going, right?
Yeah, but you remember before when I was connected, I was not able to get access to the router.
Okay,
so
just unplug it then.
Yeah, unplug and plug it back. Is that going to make a difference? That could be the reason why we're not able to get access to it. There is a red light that's keep flashing also on the router. So see, it's still going through. Kind of think I may have an issue with that router.
Oh.
Okay, let's take a look at the camera that we got from Let's Smash right now, and then see if that's interesting. Then after that, I think that's going to be a good segue to probably end the stream. Fortunately,
sounds good.
Yeah, so it was great to see you, Jake. But unfortunately, I got something I need to take care of. I got a freaking mouse at one point into my car while I was parked into a parking lot, and damaged a couple of things, which probably is going to cost me a good $5,000 to be able to fix. Not fun. Not fun. Okay, so Hikvision, and we're talking about the DS
7104N.
104N dash SN.
Cool. Oh dang! Yeah, I see these everywhere.
Yeah, but that's not the right one. So DS7104. That's not this.
Yeah.
7104. 7104. It seems that it didn't go through. Yeah, in Google. I barely heard you.
I don't know if Amazon is as good a search.
Yeah, your connection is it's not working out. Okay, so that's the Hikvision. Probably we can get it on eBay. Oh, that's not exactly what I want. If I put, let's say, Amazon. IP talk. Let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at that. So can we have a picture actually of that camera? I have an NVR. They are Chinese. I want to be English. I want it to be in English, I say. Here it's not working. Google image, I guess. Searching Google, maybe you. Yeah. Okay, let's take a look at the image instead. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Okay, so images. So that's the one here. Hikvision. Hikvision DS7. Yeah, that should be Y/P. That's an NVR. Are you looking for the actual camera or the NVR? I think it's the NVR you said in the comments, right? Are you still around the handshake?
Yeah, I'm here.
I'm not hearing you. Okay, so I think a handshake it might be. Oh, yeah, you're lagging a little bit right now. So UART loads to NVR type command, unable to escape out of the actual shell. Any guidance on the trailer for busybox? Yeah, NVR. Yeah, that's what I thought too. Okay, good. So that's exactly the one that we need to take a look at. So I'm just gonna save the image. Let me just do save image and let's put it in download. So at least I have. Okay, so that's there you go. I was missing one part. I'll put it in download, so at least I have it, and I'll be able to take a look at it later on and see if we can buy one like this and see a little bit further down the road. There's probably a way to be able to escape this. Depends on how the board is designed. Again, like I was mentioning, there's maybe a way to short the pins, like the camera was telling you. There is a way to be able to do that. I'm assuming you already Googled it online. Is that for a project or like for fun? I'm assuming, or that's show on stream. I don't know why everything went out. Sorry. You guys hear me still? You can send me one. Well, that at that point we'll have to figure it out. I would need a PO box basically. That's something we can discuss. Are you in what's it called? Are you on the Discord server? Ours? If you are not, you can join the Discord server and we can chat a little bit further down. Can you hear me, four-way? Oh, he left again, unfortunately. All right. Because the thing is that B2 trying to figure out how can we get a hold of that. Because that's the main thing. It's for learning mainly. They are not in service anymore. Okay, good. Yeah, if we can have a chat on Discord and see how we can make it happen, that could be good. Because that's possibly the issue is since they are not in service anymore and they're not in business anymore, I should say. That might be the reason why we're not seeing them. Well, that's one specifically, that NVR. Am I able to just type in NVR? NVR. So those ones are a little bit different. No. Okay. No, don't worry about it. For a way, we are not going to get too far. We are towards the end of the stream right now. And I'm just looking to take a look so we can probably team up with Let's Smash and do some investigation on how this is designed. That could be cool to be able to get access to as a project. Especially if they're not in business anymore. We are not going to, yeah. So I don't see it here on Amazon. Maybe I would need to go on, let's take a look at eBay. Do I still have an eBay? No, I don't. Okay, let's take a look. eBay.com. NVR, that's not the same. Oh no, that's not. Okay, very close, but not exactly the same. Because that's the 7104. Hold on. That's the NI. Okay, so it's almost the same. NISL 7104. NI, not exactly the same, but very close. I'm wondering what is the actual difference in between the two. Yes. That's part of the stuff. You haven't seen it yet, Jake, but I have this camera right now. So that might be the next one. I recently bought it. It's $30 on Amazon, and that's easy enough to be able to go through it. And that's going to be probably the next project we're going to go on. But if Let's Smash is coming along with us, that could be good to be able to kind of team up and have fun in that sense. I think that'd be great. Yeah. So make sure you join the Discord server, Let's Smash, and then we can have a chat together. Once you join in, make sure you also agree to the terms at the end. Then after that, you can talk to me. I'm Malvik. You're going to see me directly as one of the admins. The other one is four-way handshake, so it's easy enough. There's two admins there. Talk to me, and then we can see how we could get this. At the same time, I don't want you to spend a lot of money, but we want to be able to do projects with the audience and to be able to advance that. That'd be great, and then we can probably make a lot of people happy to be able to go through that, understanding exactly the concern and so on. Some of the stuff that we are discussing here can be very valuable because at the end of the day, as we talked about a little bit earlier, if I want to get back over here, as I talked a little bit earlier, I need to turn that off to double image. There is issues with supply chain. Sometimes that happen, right? It happened in the past. The NSA was also part of those things. And what are the negative stuff that can be actually done on those routers? Like how far can you go to be able to understand that this router, if you flash the chip, what are the bad stuff you can do? We already saw that the DNS were pointing out directly to a Chinese server. That can be an issue because at that point you already know what's the IP address and what they're actually doing. We don't know if there's a lot more involved with that specific router. We're going to keep digging more. That's going to be part of the other stream we're going to do in the future, but that's something we really want to move ahead. We're in the hardware hacking IoT learning / learning time channel. Yep, there you go. That's exactly where we are. Tell Handshake we need to see some video CTF with you and Malvik. This is something that CTFs you cannot really actually do 100%. So trying to stream them at the same time they're happening live, it's not going to be a thing. However, there is something that we could eventually do, and that's something like we had a meeting with Hack the Box on Friday on some of the stuff, the extra stuff we could actually do. And they're talking about the, do I have it here? Hold on, I'll see if I can find them there. And we can basically bring you along with us into the journey of what CTF could look like up to a point, and show you how we were able to achieve and get those like resolved. Yeah, I'm probably not going to go and show it there. That's probably going to be for the next stream. But there is, Faraway Handshake is back. Potentially. We may have a second try. You're lagging a little bit, buddy. So yeah, so basically we can bring you along with us and show you how we were able to do a couple of things. So we have some of the stuff that were done basically with reverse engineering, basically a malware or a rat, I would say, like a remote access. How do you call that? I forgot the T, but basically the rat is when it's implemented into your computer, the attacker can actually go and take files from your laptop or from your device, and then bring them onto their own device, right? And you won't even see it. And at the same time, that communication can also be encrypted. So if you're trying to figure it out, yeah, thank you very much, remote access Trojan. Thank you. So if you see those things happening, you're able to start using some different like tools and so on to be able to understand exactly what it does. we were able to take or found the IV key. Then after that, we can take Wireshark to decrypt everything that's happening there in the backend. So that's something like that you want to be able to see. We can do that. There's another exercise as well that was extremely interesting, and that was basically a ransomware that we have to reverse engineer. So I think that could be a good thing to eventually do on those streams. Maybe not now. Right now we're doing the hardware hacking Siri learning, but that could be good. Is that something that you'd be interested in? To see that type of stuff that were part of CTFs? Because if you're looking for CTFs directly, I think that's going to be hard. You should probably join us directly onto Discord so we can maneuver a little bit around. Because Hack the Box, for example, they're not super thrilled about this. The other one I'm looking at, if we're looking for CTFs, and I don't know if we can actually stream that one, it's more on the intelligence side of it. So you're given a task, and you may need to find people, or you may need to find something specific, and you need to use your tools and resources to be able to find that as a CTF, right? So that could be another like really cool adventure we could take with you if it's feasible. And again, it needs to be feasible. If it's not, we need to do it like more in an enclosed session and control a little bit more of what's going on there. Is that something that you'd be interested in? Yeah. Handshake, why I can't find you on the channel in YouTube? I'm going to let him answer this. Okay. So if you're still listening, Handshake, I'll let you answer that. I know Handshake has a blog at one point. So if he wants to share that, make sure you share it in chat. I don't know if it's going to go through though. Otherwise we can share it directly on Discord. So it's great. It's great. Okay. I think that's pretty much it. Do you have any other questions before I go? I think that's wrapping up pretty much the session we are actually doing on the hardware hacking. I'm gonna disconnect this, so it's gonna be a little bit easier. So for those that are just joining us, because I see there's still a bunch of people with us, I'm just going to disconnect the cables there and then show you real quick what we have here cooking, so you can be maybe a little bit more interested in the future to be able to join us. At the same time, can I just bring it on stream real quick? Oh, my thing, for some reason, it went upside down. So this one went upside down, so you're not going to be able to see it properly. Let me just adjust the focus a little bit. And then after that, I think we're going to call it the focus. Okay, it should be able to... that's maybe a bit too much. I'm trying a different camera, so we'll see. It's going to take a little bit of time to adjust ourselves and have the best way possible. Okay, so that's basically the router that we're actually hacking. It's a TP-Link. That's $20, and you can see here that's the top. Maybe let's remove it. No, I was right. So you can see here the TP-Link, and you can see also right now what we're currently using in this case. So you're going to be able to see, or at least experiment the same thing as us, if that's something that interests you and you want to be able to follow along. We were able to get a shell route directly with the UART connection that we have. As you can see here, there's a couple of connections, the soldering I've done. You don't need to do exactly this, or at least when you got it, it's not going to be like this, and you don't need to do this. It's just something that 4-way recommended to be able to keep a better connection. Obviously, we are going through some other cables, and then we have a connection here, or at least a USB drive that's going to be helpful for us. That USB drive does the connection with UART, is also plugged onto the 3.3 volts. If we had to, we could put it at the 1 volts, or the 1.8 volts, 2.5 volts, 3.3, or 5 volts. If we go too high, it might be an issue for our device. So we don't want to do that at all, and want to make sure we have it correctly. Then we have those connections there. On the board, we have the voltage, which is VCC. We're probably going to see it here, right? So over here on top, the black cable, we're going to have, well, for you, it's at the bottom. We're going to have the VCC. Then after that, we have the ground, transmit and receive. And the goal is to be able to pair them with these ones. The VCC, we don't, because otherwise we pair the board. The ground, we do pair it. But then here, we need to pair the transmit with the receive on the board. and then pair the receive with the transmit. So sorry, let me rephrase this just in case I mixed it. Transmit on this one goes to receive, and then receive on this one goes to transmit on this one. There we go. I think I got it. So this is exactly how we're going to be able to get the communication happening there. Then after that, we use Minicom or Picocom. Minicom also is another solution that we can use to be able to do that, but that's another way to actually do the whole thing. So yeah, so that's basically what it is. If you want to come along, we are learning. We want to show you some of the stuff that we are learning at the same time. So if you want to replicate, it's easy enough to be able to jump in, and then we can move further. So, okay, good. I don't see any other questions, so I'm really happy that you guys showed up. It was great to see everybody at the same time to be able to come in. Jake, I hope to see you in the next time. I know you didn't get the notifications, but that's fine. It happens sometimes. So thank you very much for being there, though. And then same thing. I didn't see you yet. What's your name again? Let's Smash, I believe. I didn't see your you coming on Discord. So make sure that you are coming along there. Good. Is there anything else? I don't see anything. Okay, good, guys. Yeah. Okay, good. I was just trying to read the chat, and there's nothing interesting. Well, there's a lot of stuff interesting, but nothing like I can talk about or questions. That's what I meant. All right, guys. It was great having you. Handshake, unfortunately, could not stay with us. So this is unfortunate, but at the same time, sometimes you don't have a choice. But in the future, we're going to keep doing those stuff. So stay tuned. Join us. Like and subscribe the video if you think you've learned out of that. Make sure you use also the notification bell. And then let's connect next time. All right. Thank you very much. Cheers.